I'd buy a car. I don't know.
If you won 300,000 euros, what would you spend the money on?
I think traveling around the world, yeah.
If you won 300,000 euro, what would you spend the money on?
Traveling, for sure.
What would you do with that money if you won it?
I would invest in smart land conservation and wildlife conservation research, because that's what I'm interested in professionally.
Well, I would pay my debts, and there is in Africa there is a problem there with the food. I would invest in that food. Well, and for me, maybe maybe find a flat, but rent it, because I don't have time. It's not good to buy. I would help something better.
You won 300,000 euro, what would you do with it?
Keep traveling around the world and just think to travel and eat in good places.
And if you won the Irish Poker Open for around 300k, what would you spend the money on?
I'd probably give it to herself and put it down for a deposit of a house, or buy a house, pretty much.
Give us your poker face.
Forget about it.
Hi, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to the Irish Poker Open. I have found some worthy players to join me today. What's your favourite starting hand? Who's your favourite player? Who do you think is going to win the Irish Poker Open? Do you know anything about poker? These guys know a lot about poker. This is Ireland, where Guinness is everything, so I'm going to learn how to pull a pint.
When it settles, that's settled now. The black is all up to there, and that's the head. So you just get it then, and you top it like that. And that's your pint of Guinness there.
Can I taste it?
Yes.
Cornelius and welcome to the beautiful rural countryside of Dublin. Today is day 2 of the Irish Poker Open 2018 and it promises to be another action-packed day full of poker. Hi, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome back to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now the dealers here at the Irish Open see a lot of crazy stuff happening at the tables all the time, but what I wanted to know was what is the craziest hand they've ever seen?
So the craziest hand what I dealt was Ace Queen A, and 2 5s. Yeah, it was like ace, queen, queen on the flop, turn 5, river 5. It was like quads and full house in one hand. Amazing.
Tell us about the craziest hand you ever dealt.
For example, last night I had one hand in 5-10 Omaha pot limit, where it was 6-away all in with 3 side pots, the 6,500 pot, and the guy wins with ace-2 offsuited.
Like I remember quads against the quads, royal flush against the quads as well. Like a lot of bad beats for the players, like on the river, killing them and everything.
Actually, that was yesterday. I put 4 of a kind aces on flop, and it was a split spot. But it was crazy. It was the first time with 4 of a kind in the flop aces.
And it's always the same story. Flop the nuts, crack them on the river, and they're like, oh, crying always. Just take a cup. Put on it a crying cup, €2 if you want to cry. Come on, I have no time for that.
Hello, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now, 5-10 offsuit. Not a great starting hand, but would you ever play it? I asked some of our players. Would you ever play 5-10 offsuit, and if you would, when would you play it?
There's many instances I would play 5-10 offsuit. I wouldn't say full ring from early position or something, but somewhere from the button, in a big blind, heads up.
I wouldn't really be known for my splashing around, but maybe like in a drunken, friendly cash game, try and bring some pain on someone.
Probably once I had a few glasses of wine and I really wanted to bust someone, so my opening range would be, or calling range, quite wide, and I would just play if I don't like the person.
Yes, I would certainly play 5-10 off. For example, if I had a big stack near the bubble and there was some really scared, really weak player in the big blind like David Lappin, then I would play 10-5 off.
5-10 off. Maybe from the button, but probably never. Like back in the days, a bunch of people used to play 10-3 off and then make a big brag deal about it, but I never really got that either, so I'd say never.
I've had a lot of chips and I was on the button. Old Ludo would definitely play 5-10 off a lot more, but new Ludo would need a lot of chips and he'd need to be on the button.
I would play 5-10 off at any situation. You can flop every straight draw, every flush draw, and you can make a really good joke at the end, be like, oh look, no one can have a straight because I have 5-10 off, yeah. And that's what poker's all about at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Irish Poker Open 2018. Event 1 was a €350 buy-in event. It was the Irish Open Championship 6 Max. Event 2 was a €150 Deep Stack 6 Max event. And event 3 was an €80 buy-in for the Satellite for the main event, where 5 seats were guaranteed.
Manuel's hand holds here. Chris would get third place here because he has more money than Frodo at the start hand, and he's going for it. Fair play. Wow, Manuel in a dominating spot.
Three-way all in.
Manuel in a
three-way all
dominating spot here to go heads up with
5:30 in the morning.
I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to the Irish Open 2018 here at the beautiful City West Hotel in Dublin. Wednesday, of course, the main event starts taking place. It's a whopping €1 million guaranteed, but plenty of fun to be had before that. Today at 4 p.m. we have a €350 buy-in event happening. It's the Irish Open Championship. It starts at 4 p.m. and also plenty of satellites to try and get yourself in the action before Wednesday. welcome to Dublin for the Irish Poker Open 2018, the most prestigious poker tournament in Europe and the longest running in Europe. We're here at the beautiful university grounds of Trinity College. Tell me your name.
My name is Mark McGill.
And tell me, what do you know about poker?
I know a bit, quite a bit.
Do you know anything about poker, the card game?
No, I only know the name, but I've never played in my life.
I know that it is a game that tries your, I guess your luck, for lack of a better word, and you have to be pretty good at keeping a straight face, or poker face as they call it.
I know most of the rules because I play quite often.
I know that it's a card game where you can win money.
Well, I've played. We have, you know, we put 10 euros each, and we play a mini tournament. Who winner takes all, and you know we are like five or six maybe, and we play for but small amounts because we don't have so much. But it's always fun, to read the other opponent.
Well, it's all about the different hands that you can have, and betting, and obviously bluffing as well. And then trying to read people's other hands as well.
I don't watch any Irish games. Is that a thing?
Do you know any Irish poker players or any poker players at all?
No.
The Irish Open, which could be around 300,000 euros, what would you spend it on?
Going over to Texas to visit my girlfriend.
If I won 300,000, I'd probably keep them in a bank account for some time and then get some interest on them, and then I don't know what I'll do with them, to be honest. Maybe buy a car.
What would you do if you won 300,000 euros?
I'd buy a car. I don't know.
If you won 300,000 euros, what would you spend the money on?
I think traveling around the world, yeah.
If you won 300,000 euro, what would you spend the money on?
Traveling, for sure.
What would you do with that money if you won it?
I would invest in smart land conservation and wildlife conservation research, because that's what I'm interested in professionally.
Well, I would pay my debts, and there is in Africa there is a problem there with the food. I would invest in that food. Well, and for me maybe maybe find a flat, but rent it because I don't have time. It's not good to buy. I would help something better.
You won 300,000 euro, what would you do with it?
Keep traveling around the world and just think to travel and eat in good places.
And if you won the Irish Poker Open for around 300k, what would you spend the money on?
I'd probably give it to ourselves and put it down for a deposit of a house, or buy a house, pretty much.
Give us your poker face.
Forget about it.
Hi, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to the Irish Poker Open. I have found some worthy players to join me today. What's your favourite starting hand? Who's your favourite player? Who do you think is going to win the Irish Poker Open? Do you know anything about poker? These guys know a lot about poker. This is Ireland, where Guinness is everything, so I'm going to learn how to pull a pint.
When it settles, that's settled now. The black is all up to there, and that's the head. So you just get it then, and you top it like that. And that's your pint of Guinness there.
Can I taste it?
Yes.
Cornelius and welcome to the beautiful rural countryside of Dublin. Today is day 2 of the Irish Poker Open 2018 and it promises to be another action-packed day full of poker. Hi, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome back to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now the dealers here at the Irish Open see a lot of crazy stuff happening at the tables all the time, but what I wanted to know was what is the craziest hand they've ever seen?
So the craziest hand what I dealt was ace queen A and 2 5s. Yeah, it was like ace queen queen on the flop, turn 5, river 5. It was like quads and full house in one hand. Amazing.
Tell us about the craziest hand you ever dealt.
For example, last night I had one hand in 5-10 Omaha pot limit, where it was 6-away all in with 3 side pots, the 6,500 pot, and the guy wins with ace-2 offsuited.
Like I remember quads against the quads, royal flush against the quads as well. Like a lot of big bad beats for the players, like on the river killing them and everything.
Actually, that was yesterday. I put 4 of a kind aces on flop, and it was a split spot, but it was crazy. It was the first time with 4 of a kind in the flop aces.
And it's always the same story. Flop the nuts, crack them on the river, and they're like, oh, crying always. Just take a cup, put on it a crying cup, €2 if you want to cry. Come on, I have no time for that.
Hello, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now, 5-10 offsuit. Not a great starting hand, but would you ever play it? I asked some of our players. Would you ever play 5-10 offsuit, and if you would, when would you play it?
There's many instances I would play 5-10 offsuit. I wouldn't say full ring from early position or something, but somewhere from the button, in the big blind, heads up.
I wouldn't really be known for my splashing around, but maybe like in a drunken, friendly cash game, try and bring some pain on someone.
Probably once I had a few glasses of wine and I really wanted to bust someone, so my opening range would be, or calling range, quite wide, and I would just play if I don't like a person.
Yes, I would certainly play 5-10 off. For example, if I had a big stack near the bubble and there was some really scared, really weak player in the big blind like David Lappin, then I would play 10-5 off.
5-10 off. Maybe from the button, but probably never. Like back in the days, a bunch of people used to play 10-3 off and then make a big brag deal about it, but I never really got that either, so I'd say never.
I've had a lot of chips and I was on the button. Old Ludo would definitely play 5-10 off a lot more, but new Ludo would need a lot of chips and he'd need to be on the button.
I would play 5-10 off at any situation. You can flop every straight draw, every flush draw, and you can make a really good joke at the end, be like, oh look, no one can have a straight because I have 5-10 off, yeah. And that's what poker's all about at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Irish Poker Open 2018. Event 1 was a 3...
Hello everybody, welcome back to the third day of the Irish Poker Open, guys. Back after a really late one last night, thanks to any of you guys that joined me and Jack Sinclair until the wee small hours. We are here, it is ladies' night, ladies' day at the Irish Poker Open. As you can see on the feature table, we have the Ladies' Championship main event. €250 buy-in. I will get the payouts to you guys shortly. We are down to our last 2 tables. So it's going to be interesting to pick up the action. Joining me in the booth is the lovely Beth Cape. Beth's going to be giving some expert analysis while I just try and sit here and look pretty, which obviously I'm, what can I
Doing
say,
a very good job,
pretty
yeah.
accomplished at. So yeah, Beth, thanks for joining us, Beth. We're loving life. So guys, I will get you the information about our feature table as I get it. We have just started and we're waiting on the player bios getting provided to me. As soon as that happens, I'll be able to give you a bit more background info on who's
Well,
at the table.
We at least know one player at the table.
We do. We have Miss Monika Zukovic. Hopefully I won't get in trouble for the mispronunciation. It's been happening all week, to be perfectly honest. She had a lot of chips, I believe, when she went to the feature table. You can see Monika there on the right of your screen. Looks like she still has a bunch of chips in her stack. So before we get into the action, Beth, how's it going? Give us a bit of background. If you've just arrived, what's the crack?
I turned up at like 11 p.m. because it was a later, cheaper flight a couple of nights back, and I've played 3 sessions so far of cash. Decided not to play the main because I'm a cash game girl, so I decided to go for that instead. But yeah, so far great action, loving it. And the Norwegians have arrived.
Oh, guys, yeah. For any of you that don't know, the Norwegians are coming. And apparently after this Irish Poker Open, we do have the Norwegian Championships getting underway. Apparently some of the best action you will ever likely to see.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, just to pick up the action there, guys, by the way, sorry, while we were doing the intros. Now we have the wonderful Mama Halliday under the gun. I've got... Huh? Yeah, that's fine, no worries. Sorry guys, it was just one of my boss Tony just giving me the situation there. So we have an awesome story for you guys. So as I say, we have Mama, as she is known, Mama Halliday. For any of you guys that follow European poker, you'll know Neil Farrell, who was deep in the live stream yesterday on the EPT on the high roller of the Irish Poker Open, the 2K yesterday. And Mama runs a bunch of pubs in Neil's hometown in Dumfries. So she's like a local legend. She's here with the Scottish contingent and she's deep in the women's main event. You couldn't make it up. So I'm supposed to be impartial, but Mama, massively rooting for Mama here. I can't help it.
I heard a little bit more about her, and apparently she said that at her club they don't need bouncers because she throws them out either head first or feet first herself.
I know. So basically, she is the oracle of Dumfries, basically, guys. So you're gonna have to give her some love. I'm sorry, like I'm pretty much rooting for Mama. So anyway, we will jump into the action.
You have 20 seats here. Monika with a very serious.
She does look very serious. She's like, you know,
she was,
serious table demeanor.
I talked to her beforehand, and she said that she was going back with 40 bigs.
Yeah.
And I said,
that's decent.
And I basically said like, oh, you'll be on the feature table surely, because I thought it was just a final table. And she said, oh, there was 13 left. And I said, well, how many bigs have you got? And she said 40. And I was like, you'll make the final table.
I mean, yeah, I believe the structure is quite fast. This is also a one-day event, guys, because we do have the main event running at the moment, day 1A. Poker room is bouncing, guys. It's absolutely packed.
There is a lot of cash tables to choose from.
It's pretty much, guys, this is when we get to the real business end of this week.
Yeah, she put 5.
Lots of stuff happening, day 1A, happening outside the booth in the poker room as we speak. And so, yeah, this is a one-day ladies championship event, just so that if any ladies wanted to play this, they can hop into 1B of the main tomorrow. So as we're catching up with our graphics, we have a limp under the gun from Connolly. We don't actually know what she has. Now, Monika has isolated here with the 10 jack of clubs.
Putting a bit of pressure on. Under the gun limp shouldn't be very strong a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to tell. You know, Connolly does only have 25k behind.
That is interesting.
So she shouldn't really be limping with too many hands. Monika sensing the weakness has picked it up. Well played from Monika.
And she's got a hand that flops very well, so if she goes to a flop,
absolutely
easy to play in position.
Would have been in position, would have been loving life. 10 jack, don't you just love when you look down at 10 jack suited?
Peel the jack, and then the same suit with the 10.
I think it's actually more of a thrill to wake up with jack 10 suited than aces.
Especially in a 9-handed cash game.
Oh, well, we all know. So Beth, tell the viewers. So that's your main game, right? You play cash in Newcastle, I believe, regularly.
Yeah, Newcastle hasn't got the best cash games in the world on a normal night, so you can't really make a living every day from it.
Right.
Weekends are pretty good. It's generally kind of hit and miss. Walk-ins very rare. Thank you very much. But yeah, I try to travel a lot more than just play in Newcastle, so that's why I'm here. Going to be here until the end of the Norwegian.
Right, so you're gonna put in a lot of cash hours then while you're here.
That's why I'm taking a break now after playing for like every week an hour.
Got to show the heart. See, that's important for any of you guys following the stream. Obviously, we've been talking and focusing mostly on tournament poker so far, but there are endless cash game action, guys, on the side.
In the background,
yeah.
You can see that.
So for any of you guys, that don't want to play the main event, like Beth doesn't really enjoy tournaments so much. Constant cash game action, guys. So come along and get involved. We are on a 20-minute delay.
Wow.
Do we have an all-in and a call?
Oh wow, okay.
Connolly has ripped it in there with a jack-8 of clubs. Looks like Murphy has called the jam. Murphy in dominant shape.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't think we did have an all-in pre. Sorry guys, just having a few issues with the graphics. I was about to say it seemed a little bit reckless to just be... Well, I suppose she is fairly short, actually, with the jack-8 of clubs. Looks like we had a raise from the ace-jack, a defend, and a check fold. Makes sense with the pot size. So yeah, guys, we are on a 20-minute delay, coming to you from the City West Hotel in Dublin. Who is?
The hotel.
Oh, I thought you said she's beautiful. I was like, what are we talking about? Yeah.
Who is?
Awesome venue, guys. I'm obviously still, guys. Last night the live stream, we really did go on until like 7 a.m. It was a late one.
I imagine with Jack being in the booth as well, it was like heavy analysis of hands. So that's a rough night.
I won't lie.
Opinion.
I think we started out, with the best intentions, and of course, but as you get later and later, 7 a.m. it's not that easy to analyze hands.
Especially when you're waiting for breakfast.
Yeah. To an A-star standard, guys, pretty difficult to do. But that was a massive battle, and all credit to the two guys heads up. Battling for, 38k euros up top yesterday, guys, in the high roller. So well done to the two guys that stuck it out till 7 a.m.
Actually, I was sticking around for some cash last night, and after Ludo bust the high roller, he went to play 5, 10...
He played some PLO, right?
5, 10, 20 PLO, walked over, saw these chips that I didn't recognise, the colour, because I'm playing, like 1-2 or 2-5.
Yep.
So the maximum chips I've seen are 100 euros.
Yep.
And there's purple chips. Look over, what are they? Oh, it's just an 8k pot. Or a 9k pot. Right, okay, that's normal for a Ludo.
Sounds like something Ludo would do, cash in the high roller, take his payout from the payout cage right into the PLO games.
I mean, you can't go from PLO to Hold'em, so you've got to go the other way around.
Right. And to be honest, Ludo can basically do whatever he wants when it comes to poker, I think. Loves the game to that extent. So guys, as I said, this is the Ladies' Championship event here at the Irish Open. I believe we are down to around about 12 players. So getting to the business end, we are paying out 6 places. As we approach the money bubble, guys, I will bring you updated ship counts and updated payouts for when it happens. So Overa under the gun, easy lay down the Queen Deuce. Cassia in the hijack, I like this fold. Here's Mama. Good disciplined fold from Mama with the 8-9.
Yeah.
Probably quite unprofessional for me as a commentator to call her Mama. Perhaps I should call her Halliday. But we're going to stick with it.
Okay, so we've got an all-in from Connolly.
I like this jam from the button. Very standard stuff. 12 big blinds.
Absolutely, you're playing so many hands from this position with this much.
12 bigs. Yeah. Simple shove. Interesting spot for Murphy, actually. Against a 12 big blind shove, Queen Jack can actually be doing fairly well against the button jam range.
And as well,
This is close.
If Connolly's shoving correctly as well with 12 big blinds, you can actually open up a bit more because they've got more fold equity.
I mean, absolutely. If we are jamming correctly, as we say in the poker world, Connolly should be jamming hands here like 7-8 suited, 8-9 suited, all the 10 jacks, all the kind of jack 9 suited, jack 10s, all the weak ace rags. Queen Jack does pretty well against the 12 big blind button shove range.
Yeah. It'd be quite unlucky to be dominated as well.
For sure.
That sort of hand.
But, I don't mind fold. I think if it's 10 big blinds or lower, Queen Jack becomes pretty much an automatic call. And also Murphy, she has 71k, 45 bigs or so. Certainly certainly wouldn't have hated it to see her take on the short stack jam.
Totally.
But I think folding, it's fine.
Actually, it's interesting to say as well, this is slightly short-handed. We're only five-handed.
Final two tables, yeah, and we are, I think we're six-handed,
Yeah. So I guess a little bit even more open than normal.
Now, interesting here from Mama. Now, she has elected to limp under the gun off 11 bigs. Not a massive fan of this from Mama. You know, a hand as weak as ace-6 with 5 players to act behind. Kind of favour a fold. Sorry, Mama. You know what? I think if I see you at the bar, you will literally punish me for this. But in any case, I'm still rooting for her. You know.
You're going to get chucked out. You're going to get chucked out.
The interesting thing though with you know, some like amateur players, when they limp under the gun here, it's supposed to be a strong range, right? Off this short stack, people will trap here fairly often with aces, kings and stuff like this. I mean, we can see that Mama has the ace-6.
It's not too dissimilar to Gabriel.
Absolutely. Guys, we will give you an update on our, you know, promo winner, Gabriel. It's a pretty cool story. Let's run through this hand first.
It's interesting though, because I guess maybe if she's running a poker club, she might be used to quite weak kind of passive players. So maybe this limp is normal for her. And also if she's used to cash games, you can limp that hand.
Absolutely. And you know, like Monica has sniffed out the weakness again correctly, deducing that Mama had a weak kind of range. Picks it up with the ISO. Monica actually a very aggressive player. Actually, she takes it very serious at the table. You know, stern, serious demeanour. Picking up the read there well on Halliday.
Yeah, she does well. She does well.
Puts herself up to the chip lead at the table.
She has done well to change over from online to live. I think primarily she plays online.
Yeah, that's right. And I know that she is a sponsored pro, and plays a bunch of online tournaments, does a bunch of streaming. As you can see, you know what? It's a good table demeanour. Mine is more jovial, shall we say. I'm not much of a stern, quiet one at the table. Now, Connolly I'd like to see move in, which she has done. Yeah. Connolly showing the really solid fundamentals so far. Ripping in the 5s, standard jam. Of course, jamming 9s is going to be standard.
And 4.
So let's tell the guys about Gabriel. So for anybody watching the stream who doesn't know, now here at the Irish Poker Open, we're all about making dreams come true. We've decided to run a super interesting promo where the team went out into Trinity College in Dublin, found 6, 7, 8 poker players who had basically no experience. Random people who had basically never played poker in their life. And we decided that we were going to put them in competition, and that one would emerge and get a free entry, a free roll. A free... Nah, you're in here, Beth, unfortunately for you. But you know, they would get a free roll into the Irish Poker Open main event. Like 1,150 euros, free roll, chance to win 200k, 300k euros, whatever it's going to be.
And the bragging rights.
I don't know. So our winner was Gabriel. Now I've just had the privilege, me and Beth, we just sat down with Gabriel, talked him through the fundamentals of poker, you know, trying to give him some advice as an amateur. You know, I mean, talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. He is like a baptism of fire for Gabriel.
Oh, absolutely.
He had 30 minutes with us, right? We staged like a short-handed table, showed him, you know, some good starting hands to go with, etc., etc. And he is off now, guys, into the main event for his first live. I mean, how much are you loving it for his first live experience at 1100 main? Awesome.
Insane.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
now, Mama is in great shape here. We have a limp from Kasia with the Jack 10. Mama's flop bottom 2 pair. Loving this jam.
Wow,
she's gonna get called.
This is so cool.
Big spot here from Mama to get the double.
Cooler, this many-handed.
If she can avoid a 10 or a Jack. Oh! Kasia has just spiked the 10 on the turn, sending Mama Halliday home. I'm done. I think guys, I think the stream is over. Sorry to see Mama go. Impossible to blame Kasia there, blind on blind.
Absolutely not.
Oh, you can see me in the background, guys. So I actually did know the spoiler, guys, but I didn't want to spoil it for you. There you can see me. You can see me handing out the commiserations.
Must be a good poker player then. Kept a good poker face.
Yeah, kept the cards close to the chest, guys.
Oh no, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Mama, absolute legend, absolute legend.
Absolutely, yeah.
we got so much love for her. Her and her friends over from Dumfries. Legend. Good game, Mama. Hopefully you have more success in any other events that you're playing while you're here.
Should be winning the main.
So anyway, yeah, guys, back to that tail. As you see me getting interviewed in the, in the background, trying to, obviously adjust the sleeves. That's mildly embarrassing. Anyway, so Gabriel, how cool is that? Gabriel is in the main. Never played a live poker tournament in his life. 30 minutes with us. Bang, in he goes.
He kind of knew the very, very basics, as in you get 2 cards and there's 5 communal cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, anyone who's like watched Rounders or any sort of online poker would know that. Actually, he had said that he'd watched a bit of Ian Simpson on Twitch.
Yeah,
so
I know.
He had a little bit of an advantage, I guess. But we're trying to just tell him like don't string bet and this kind of thing.
Now we'll get back to discussing Gabriel shortly. Now, interesting spot here. Overa has opened in the cut-off to 4.2k off a stack of 22k. I actually would have liked to see an open shove here, actually. Like 9-10 of diamonds, you know, hand that plays super well as a jam. Like we only have, 14 big blinds to start the hand, and now we're in that kind of disastrous spot where we have to raise fold. A hand as strong as 9-10 suited,
Totally.
I mean, as you can see here, of course, she's going to be able to raise fold and get away against the ace-jack of clubs. In general here, though, like we have a lot of fold equity to just jam this hand.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're quite unlucky to not get a jam through there.
Yeah, and even if you do get called, by a hand like ace-jack, for example, ace-queen, ace-king, 9-10 of diamonds plays pretty well against the calling ranges, in the blinds, especially short-handed.
And as well, you can sometimes imagine, if you get to know the players, that they might be overfolding.
Exactly.
And sometimes the button,
I'm with you, Beth, 100%. They might make incorrect folds. If someone has ace-9 off in the big blind, for example, a lot of players will fold this hand to an all-in shove. I don't want to go as far as saying it's a massive error from Overa, but, raise folding, now you're on 11 bigs. I would have preferred to just seen an open shove.
Especially this close to final table.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really want to re-raise folding yet. We are only paying out 6 places, so it's not as if we're on the stone money bubble or anything like that.
But it will be interesting to see how much more aggressive they get 6-handed when it is on the bubble.
Absolutely.
That'll be really cool.
Absolutely. So hi guys in the chat. Good to have you all with us. Cheers for joining us again on the 3rd day here of the Irish Poker Open. Let me know, as always, if there are any questions you have for me or any questions for Beth. If you want any information on what is going on for the rest of the week. If you look at the bottom of your screen, this has become my favourite thing. I see people in YouTube videos go, look at the bottom of the screen to see the info for the Twitter and Facebook pages.
Oh, jeez.
Irish Poker Open. Wow, right. I will stop whittering on. We'll get into the action.
So
now a limped pot here. Connolly has just flopped the absolute world.
And most of the time, oh wow.
I mean, Monica, this is a good flop bet to stab.
Yeah,
of course we have the open-ended straight draw. Now, obviously she doesn't know that she's essentially drawing dead.
She's blocking queen 10, she's blocking 9-10.
Yep. I like this play from Connolly, check call, of course. Now, this is actually a great turn for Monica. Like, if an 8 or a king had peeled off here, she could have been in some serious trouble.
Or even just a brick.
And for sure she might have started barreling.
Oh.
Bad river card, of course.
I don't think she's not going to go mental though here.
No, she won't. I mean, what we have to think here, it looks as if Connolly's going to lead the river. So already Monica should be computing in her mind. Is she checking? No, she's going to bet. Anyway, Monica should be computing in her mind, what bluffs does Connolly have here? Like, what hand can... I think Monica is going to call.
Yeah.
I don't really blame her. Like, she does beat some ace highs, but, you have to start analysing in spots like this. What hands check call flop that want to lead river for 4k here? Like a third of the pot on the river that are bluffs. All that we have is really bluffing is a hand like 6-7 of spades that flop to flush draw and check called. Maybe a hand like, 7-8 of spades, 4-5 of spades. Even like king 9 has now made a straight. So we basically need Connolly to be bluffing river. Like an 8, if Connolly has just a bare ace, she's going to check. I think she has showdown value.
Yeah.
Monica's a stab flop, an ace is probably good enough to check. So we really need her to be bluffing with a missed flush draw. Or maybe like a pocket pair that got counterfeited and somehow decided to bluff river. It's a small amount of bluffs, I think.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I think it's an interesting point of, on that board texture, what do you do as Connolly? Because if you check, Monica often has ace highs, so she'll check back. a lot of the time. Monica's unlikely to have an under pair that now has been counterfeited to then bluff.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Monica, I think with any pair would shove free against the limp. She knows her ranges. She knows that that Connolly limped off around about 15, 16 bigs at the start of the hand. So you can basically rule out all of those type hands. It's just one of these spots where I think that Connolly has very few bluffs, but Monica River in the Queen.
Just can't do much.
It's tough to. I mean, it's a tough spot, not an easy spot. Anyway, on we go. So Katya in the cutoff, raising to 3.5k with the ace-9. I like this in the short-handed game. Certainly good enough to open from the cutoff. Round 2, Monica in the small blind. Now this is a candidate for a 3-bet.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
She could also peel. Yeah. Peeling, it's. I mean, we are out of position, but she may think that she has an edge post flop and may want to take some flops against Katya. Could have been a candidate for a 3-bet fold also. In any case, she does elect to call.
Yeah, quite deep.
Deep enough for a flat, I think. And the flop is all Katya. Now let's see if she elects to c-bet. Typically, most people will c-bet in this situation. I like to see a check back mixed in from time to time. You can try and convince your opponent to start stabbing with their kind of no equity hands. Also, we have the 9 of diamonds, which is nice for blocking some flush draws. In any case, she does go ahead and bet. Monica with no real equity does elect to check fold. Nothing much for her to do there. Daniel says, Andy, do you not know who seat 1 is? Willow was the Irish Poker Series Player of the Year 2017. Wow. Best of luck to Willow. I'm sorry, guys. You consider me an uneducated buffoon. Sorry. I did not know. I've actually never had the pleasure to see her play. Anyway, so good luck, Willow. Look, we got so much love in the chat. We got some love for Monica. Feraldo is in the chat. We have the man himself, Mr. Neil Farrell. He was here to rail Mama. Mama is gone. Mama is gone. You know what? To be fair, she ran really, really, really unfortunate. Don't know if you saw it, Feraldo, but she flopped bottom 2 against top pair.
Oh wow! It was Player of the Year.
Yeah, full Player of the Year, right?
Yeah,
did I say Women's Player of the Year? I thought I said Player of the Year, right? My apologies, Daniel. I know. I'm gonna get in trouble, especially in the modern day. You can get in trouble for a lot less, I think. Now, loving this jam for Rivera against the limp, King Jack of Diamonds, 11 bigs.
Yeah,
absolutely mandatory shove. Gets it through. We are 5-handed, guys. We don't actually, I can't see the other ladies' table at that shot, but they are either going to be 5 or 6-handed. That's around about 10 players, guys.
Is it 8-handed full?
I believe it will be. I don't think it's 6 max, so the final table should be 8-handed. And we are paying 6 players, guys. I'll get the pairs.
60 euros, you can start with 16K.
Here we go, we're getting some interaction. Let's see if we have Feraldo on the rail to answer that question. Caxmar says, Feraldo, is that true about prop bet, about living in King's Casino? Now, I can actually enlighten you guys a bit on that. So, when all of the Scottish contingent, the European contingent, were in Rosvedov recently for one of the Party Poker Millions series, there was the discussion about, like, in Rosvedov there's not a lot to do apart from the casino. And a prop bet was mentioned where everyone was in discussion and they said, how much money would it take for you to live in the casino for a year without ever leaving? Never, you don't get to leave. You don't get to leave at all.
Oh, jeez.
So how much would it take? So while Beth thinks about that, Monica's opening in a cut-off ace-7 suited, very standard. Wow. She's running pretty poorly in the last 5 or 6 hands.
Monica can actually just be ahead here a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you can either c-bet small here or check back. She does have backdoor draw to the nut flush.
I don't mind a check back. I think she check back quite a lot of value here.
Yeah, I mean...
but also you try to deny equity. So.
Exactly. I mean, when we do bet, we are never going to get any Broadway type hands to fold naturally. But we can fold out, some random equity hands like 8-9 and stuff like this. Also, any low pair is just going to fold. Not the absolute worst. Yeah, Dark Angel, you cannot go outside at all. That's part of the prop bet. So let's get back into this very interesting turn. Now, as we could see, Monica was drawing dead to backdoor aces or a backdoor straight draw or a nut flush. She has picked up one of those cards.
One of the best turns in the deck.
Now, the problem here is when we barrel, if we do decide to barrel, I don't think we have any card folds, to be perfectly honest. you're basically targeting getting a king to fold. You know, like a queen naturally is never ever going to fold.
And it's just the fact that
Like, I would check back here, I think, to realise equity. We are literally targeting a fold by Jack 10 perhaps, and a fold by a weak king.
Yeah.
She has barreled. Kind of like, this is really a tilting spot when you get check raised, because now you're like, why did I not just take my draw to the, draw to the nut flush? She may just call. All right, Monica is going to get to see the river, looking for a jack or a spade. Oh! Wow! Now Katya in a world of pain here. Now, interesting to see, she looks very composed though, right? No display of emotion. Interesting to see whether she goes for the max value in jams. If she puts her opponent on a queen, she may well jam here. But if she, if she thinks her opponent has a king, typically she's just going to go for value rather than the shove. Looks like she's going to bet. I'm going to take a prediction of about 15k. Let's see. Let's see if we are close. I think 15k is reasonable. She's gone small. Now, the interesting thing is here, will Kasia jam here? It's not impossible. Like, this is such a small bet.
Yeah, I think she's trying to get called by Jack 10 and straight.
And like called by a king, I guess,
And a king, queen.
I like this sizing against the king. If we go too big here,
Well, I guess it's unlikely for her to really have a queen.
I mean, Katya's never going to fold.
Yeah.
Of course. Can't imagine she'll fold. She's not going to be happy.
I think against her entire range.
Horrific run out for Katya.
What does Monica do to check jam though?
Goes into the tank and has a think, I guess. I mean, of course, if Katya did check shove, repping boats, right, mostly. Like,
it's such a small bet, you would...
Well, that's the thing, yeah, it would not impossible for the queen to go for a jam there.
No, yeah.
But, we're basically... We would be hoping that our opponent is either overvaluing a solitary queen or is like turning something crazy into a bluff, which seems unlikely. So you basically, when your opponent check shoves, you're actually long term, I think you're in bad shape. I think they have boats like a huge amount of the time. King, queen, or queen 10.
And to be fair, it is unlikely for Monica to actually have her beat without a house.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very tough for Katya to put her on the backdoor nut flush.
But that's why we triple barrel backdoor nut flush.
Yeah. As you can see, look, Monica getting aggressive, picking King 5 suited. I really don't mind it in a 5-handed game, especially approaching the money. I think the open is okay. Obviously on the loose side, but she has a lot of chips. As we can see, it's not going to work. Overa going to be all in with Ace King. Now Connolly should be tank folding here well, not even tank folding to be honest. Sorry, basically a snap fold. Wow, she's thinking about it, asking for a count.
How many bigs is 19k now?
12 bigs, but strategic.
You've got Monica behind as well.
Strategically here, like putting this in with fours is a really bad mistake.
You're
Nah.
You're flipping all the time, always.
It's just bad. It's just it's just an easy fold. Monica, of course, knows that she cannot call a jam. Pretty standard hand. Don't mind the open. Of course, the jam is super standard. So Zhukovic out front, 78k, followed by Murphy, Connolly, Katya, and Overa. So guys, going back to our discussion on Gabriel second, let's do the prop bet thing first.
Oh, okay,
so,
okay.
Get guys in the chat, right? So you got to live in Rozvadov Casino for 1 year without leaving, right? So everyone says, oh, I could do that for X amount of money. Imagine being, it must be in a casino 365 days.
And that's like a year of your life as well.
Exactly.
You have to think on your deathbed, I spent a year of my life in a casino without leaving.
Yeah. I mean, how much... But how much money is worth sacrificing your mental well-being, so to speak? Guys in the chat, would you do it? Would you do the prop bet? Would you live in the Rozvadov Casino for a year? How much money would it take?
We should do a lot of things.
What do you think?
We should do a lot of things on how much Monica would do it for.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I would like to say that I would never do it. I suppose there must be a figure that you would eventually do it.
Yeah. I think
I'd go crazy. I really do.
I think I'd probably do it for... Yeah. Well, to be fair, I do play a lot, so...
So, right, I'm going to start firing numbers at you, right? I'm going to see what your level is. Right, so £100,000. You can't accept the first one for heaven's
That's
sake.
not exactly why I was like, well, because the thing is, like, it's not bad action over there. Yeah, like you.
Yeah, well, this is
not
true. The
much to-
cash games are good and stuff, but just remember, you cannot leave.
Yeah.
You cannot leave. Like you can't even like go outside to like stretch your legs or anything. It's
But
like prison. It's like a prison
like,
yard.
All of your life is paid for in that year. So like.
No.
Food. Oh, so
Nah.
you've got to pay for food and
I guess you
accommodation.
get.
and
Well, I
everything.
mean, I guess that's negotiable.
Okay.
But
Okay,
yeah,
well, if
you
it's
don't.
free,
Okay, right.
let's say it's free.
You don't have to pay for accommodation, right?
Okay.
You get your 100k, but like you're not rolled for any games or anything like this. Okay, let's say that food and lodgings are paid. Right?
Technical now.
Food and lodgings are paid. Out with the money.
Okay. Okay. More.
Okay,
more
so
sums.
£250,000. £250,000, guys.
You know what? Like.
Daniel says 46 euros in a Magnum Classic.
I mean, to be fair.
See, I'm loving that, Daniel. That's great.
This is kind of mad, right? Because the thing is, you could just play. I mean, you've got Netflix. You're living in a hotel. You've got quite a nice
It's
life.
a year though. Who wants to play poker every day live against dumpster Rosvadov regs for a year?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, that is true.
Team Hey Monia, Monica getting a lot of love in the chat. Unsurprisingly, she has a big Twitch following.
Ah, and Instagram, it's Hey Monia as well.
Yep.
At Hey Monia.
Right, so like $250,000. Are we turning it down? We taking it?
You know what? Maybe I'm cheap, but yeah, I think I'd
You
take
taking
it.
it?
I think I'd take
Quarter
it.
of a
Is that
mil?
bad?
I don't know. No, it's
Chat,
up
is
to
that
you.
bad?
It's up to you, to be honest. 2
What
million.
about you?
Physics says $2 million.
Okay, I'm cheap. I'm definitely cheap. What about you?
See, it's one of these annoying things, right? Because you can never really know until you were seriously offered the money.
Well, the thing is, when
right?
the briefcase is in front of you and you
Exactly.
see that much money, it's more money
Wow,
than you've
Connolly,
ever
by the
seen
way,
in your life.
sorry to interrupt. Connolly opening the king jack off, getting a defend by Murphy. She just jams on the flop. Ambitious.
Jeez.
I mean, she got it through. Fair play.
Wow, that.
I think she jammed for around 2.5 times pot. Bluffing with the best hand. Did
Yeah,
get it
that is
through
surprising.
though. Hey Mon, you're getting all the love. Tranquil Mind. If that is the Tranquil Mind from online. Old school boss. Good to have you in the chat, buddy. Right, so that's physics is $2 million, man. Woof. $2 million. I mean, you'd
Well,
have
I mean,
to take that.
I'm taking 250 grand.
I'm
so
taking 2 mil.
million.
I'm taking 2 mil. I think I might take a mil.
You think? But
I'm leaving. Like, who am I kidding? I'm taking about 20k. I'm taking about 20k, guys, to be
I'm
perfectly
taking a
honest.
beer and 20 quid.
I'm taking 20k, buying 2 Bitcoin. That's me. That'll turn into like X million anyway.
Jeez. Well, can you play online in Rostov?
Oh, no. No, you can't play online.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, we
maybe
didn't
that
even think
changes
about that
things.
one, guys.
That maybe changes things then. I assumed that you could, but...
Nah, you're not allowed to play online. There you go. You just have to look at these live guys in Rosvadov for a year.
These guys with scarves and
Right.
sunglasses every day.
Okay, hang on. Let's pick up the action. Connolly is raising in the cutoff, which is under the gun at this 5-handed table. Now she's made it 3x. I believe the blinds have just gone up to 1 and 2k.
Surprising 3x from...
Yeah, I mean she has 21 and a half bigs to start the hand. Could actually feasibly open shove this hand 5-handed. Monica is going to peel on the button with the 9-10 of diamonds.
You ship that hand just to deny equity and you don't see it.
21 bigs is probably just too much to jam.
Okay.
Probably just. But, I mean, when you know, like, if you run the numbers, the jam is going to be absolutely fine.
Okay.
For sure. Like, you know, like, plus EV jam, as we say, it's going to be fine. In a 5-handed game, for absolute sure. It might be a little too much. It kind of depends on the table you're playing at. If the table's passive and people aren't defending and flatting too much, you could just go for an open. You can actually raise call off against certain individuals here. Like, raise call against one jam and you know, raise fold if 2 people put it in behind or whatever.
I've got a question.
Okay.
So,
fire away.
In general, have you commentated on many ladies' tables?
Only this is the third. that I've
Third one.
commentated on. Yeah.
In general, what would you say?
Oh, I'm going to get in trouble here, 100%. What would I say the differences were?
Well, I mean, you can be truthful.
Careful.
Just don't say anything about me. Okay?
I'm only joking. Well, as we know, right, there's some like powerhouse women in the game, right? We do know that. But like if we're being honest, of course, like the percentage is a lot lower than men. It is like still a male-dominated sport.
To be honest,
right? As we know, like the 5% probably male.
Yeah, probably more.
You know
like,
what I mean?
If you
Probably
have a
it's
look
more.
out there, probably
Yeah.
more. I mean, like the ladies' event, people are going to be busting that and then going over to cash. So on a normal night,
Sure.
you rarely get to sit on a table with a lady.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that it is a male chauvinistic world still, largely. I do think it is in the poker world. I mean, as in, you know, like when guys play against women, they definitely underrate them. Like they do. It's, you know, I think I think it's fair to say that women are underrated and not given as much credit as
you can
a lot of the men.
totally use that to your advantage. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because you're insta label knit.
Sure, and it is sexist, you know. It's like you see it happen all the time, especially like, you know, like you know, an old lady sits at a table, snap, think, oh, knit, she's going to be terrible. You do, like, it is the prevailing attitude. It's completely wrong, obviously, but I think that men in general do that. I think they do.
Like about 3 nights ago in my first session, there was a lady about maybe like in her 50s.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, you know, kind of being a bit, I was kind of stereotyping. And I was like, let's see what happens, but like I'm expecting kind of passive, more on the passive side.
Well, did you tell her that?
No.
No, right, okay.
I'm expecting you to be on the passive side. Is that true?
Yeah.
She full bet Queen 3 off and showed it.
Yeah. All right.
And I was like, you are my hero.
But you can,
I wanna
you know,
be like
I would
you.
say that ladies could definitely exploit this, you know, false representation that men have of them, because it's true. Like I think everyone has been guilty with it. Actually, it's an old stereotype, but I think men do believe that they're better at poker. I think that I think that would be the prevailing thing.
I've
and it is wrong, obviously. There's some total boss, amazing female poker players, more and more flooding into the sport, right? Like,
but as well, I've had some like weird interactions with guys who people have said to me afterwards, I think he just didn't want to lose a pot against you, sort of thing, and that's kind of a weird dynamic because then you have this weird leveling thing that I guess guy on guy don't have.
Yeah.
Because then you think, well, hang on, did they just want to win that pot?
and because it's a woman or because it's a man or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, maybe it's like paranoia, but a guy said to me afterwards, like, geez, he just wanted to like forfeit your life.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like, it is really stupid, obviously, you know, but you know, battle of the sexes, guys. What do you reckon in the chat?
I mean, going from what Monica's been
sorry
doing.
to cut off, we will just jump in. Now, 10 big blinds over in the cut off again, I would just like to see a jam, you know? Like, 10 big blinds, we do have ace-king, obviously it's a strong hand, but you know, you can get called light here when you just drip 10 bigs.
And then as well, because you haven't got, when you don't flop a pair, she's going to be in a spot.
Yeah, it can
and
put you in a bad
also,
spot.
If you're in the same position with queens, do you like a raise call-off? Or do you just like a ship
I mean,
as well?
again, I do think it depends on the table you're playing at, you know. Obviously, it depends who the opener is also of Vera. Like, some players here will always have a nutted hand when they 3x. But who knows, if Vera could randomly go for a 3x steal here with the king 10 off and be folding to a jam. So it sort of depends on your opponent. Now, she does flop king 5-6, she does open shove. I think if we're going to play our hand like this with a 3x
Yeah,
pre,
you know what? That's the thing. Like, it's such
you could
a
like
dry
check
board.
back here. You could check
exactly.
back.
It's
You
such
could
a dry
bet
board. You could
very
totally,
small.
against Monica as well.
Yeah.
You totally want to hang
if you
ourselves.
check, you give her a chance to stab.
Yeah, totally.
I just think that technically there, like when we open shove, we do protect our range. Like if we're shoving our weak hands for 10 bigs, we want to be shoving our strong hands, obviously. But, you know, like I say, when you asked about the queens, etc., if you're at a table where people are making real elementary mistakes against opens, then by all means you could just min-raise open off with your premium hands of 10 bigs. But, you know, against most thinking players, when you're even opening off 10 big blinds, alarm bells, right? Alarm bells, you're like, right, well, they've got a premium hand and they're not going to fold.
Yeah, I guess it's interesting because on that board, when Connolly had ace-king, Monica can have sets, she can have 2 pairs. I guess she maybe... Does Monica...
I don't think she has any sets ever,
No,
she's just
no,
all in
because
pre with 5s
yeah,
and 6s.
yeah, she
So
does.
it's basically the driest board we're ever going to get.
But she can possibly have 2 pair, and the thing is...
Well, she's not going to fold that no matter what.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, but
So-
I'm just saying, if Connolly opens that and doesn't just open jam it, and then Monica gets to see a flop, Monica, like, Connolly's hoping for a cooler on the flop where they both flop a king.
Sure.
For Monica to then call the all-in.
Sure.
So shipping it pre is just...
I mean, this is one of these spots where I don't think we need to massively overanalyze the detail. 10 bigs and the cut-off.
It's interesting for me though, 'cause
Ripsky.
I don't, yeah, true. But I don't really play a lot of tournaments, so it's interesting to see short-handed. for me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously got to widen these opening ranges. I mean, I just think if we're going to 3x there and we get a flop as good as king 6-5, jamming really doesn't achieve much, right? Like, we block a king, obviously having the best king. We think Monica can never really have 6s and 5s. So literally, what are we targeting to get a call from when we just jam? Like, we need her to have one of the other kings, or you need her to like hero it off with 6, 7 of diamonds or something like a middle pair. Not even hero it off, but call it off with this hand. So like, if your opponent does have a king, we can check back flop, and they're just always going with their hand no matter what anyway. And you know, when you check back or bet small, you do give your opponent the chance to kind of blow up, or you know, take stabs. Anyway, so Kasia.
This could be it.
Now again, under the gun, 27k, 13.5 bigs. I favour an open shove. Ace-9 of clubs, you know, plays well as a jam. 5-handed, 13 bigs. As we can see here, it's gonna help her to get away though. Monica with the 9s does jam, as she should. And you know, we try not to be results orientated always in poker. I know she's going to be able to raise fold this hand, but I think long term here, it's just a profitable play to jam. You know, you're going to pick up around about 5k or whatever that's in the top lines and antes. You know, you're going to boost your chip stack by like 20% just by shoving. You're going to deny Jack 10 suited and King Queens and all this. They're not going to be able to call. In any case, it's worked out for her on this occasion. I would have shoved it, but I would have been out. I'd have been out of the tournament. So what I know.
Yeah, you're rubbish.
I know. I like to pretend I know what I'm talking about, guys. But there you go. So guys in the chat, Dark Angel says ladies play more aggressive at the ladies events I've played, but it's great fun. Maybe the case, I don't know. Maybe you can give some insight on that.
I haven't played like a ladies tournament before, but I've played a cash game, a ladies cash game, and I was more aggressive because I thought they might be overfolding more and I could rep more. And in general, you know, you're going to get guys who are like, oh, I want to call you off late. I want to like own you and put your soul in put your soul in a jar. But the thing is, I don't know. Maybe I was stereotyping because I got called. I did it too often and I got called.
Yeah.
In a big pot. So I needed to kind of calm down.
Dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I
It
mean,
happens sometimes, right? Sometimes you go in with all guns blazing, and you need to downshift gears. Now, interesting here, Monica's opened the cut-off with the 6-8 of hearts. Murphy with the flat on the button. I like this. I like the flat. They are the two deepest stack players at the table. Obviously, like Murphy could elect a 3-bet pre for sure in a 5-handed game against an aggressive opener. But also when she flats, she under-reps her ace-jack of spades. We already know Monica's capable of barreling off on, you know, multiple textures. Monica with the best flop she's basically ever going to get with the 6-8 of hearts. Or one of the best, should I say.
Oh, with Gabriel as well. So we had a hand where someone had flopped a flush on Queen... Was it Queen 8-3? Yeah, Queen 8-3. It was 3 spades on board.
Oh, yeah.
And someone had King
3.
Oh!
Whoa, sorry to cut you
Whoa,
off.
I did not expect that.
Wow, Murphy's
I did not
banged
expect
it in. Look at the heart being shown here. I was not expecting this.
Is that for value? I wonder if
No. This is a bluff.
But does she think that she has the best hand, I wonder?
No, I don't think so. Well, it's possible, but she was just flat, right? Oh, Monica's fuming here now. She's absolutely hating it. Little does she know, like, she's in amazing shape. Well, she is a 6-4 favourite.
Yeah, jeez.
The problem here is your opponent obviously can have all of 8s, 9s,
bigger flush draws.
8s and 9s and stuff like this. Bigger flush draws. This is the biggest problem here. Wow, I was not expecting Murphy to just pull the trigger. Unbelievable.
I guess
scenes.
this is kind of like a reaction to maybe how she thinks Monica is as a player. If
Right.
she thinks that she's aggressive.
I think so.
Taking a stand.
I think that Monica will fold.
Oh no, Monica, no!
I think against the likely range of Murphy, this is a fold. You know, long term. Long term, I think we're in really bad shape in this spot.
Yeah, she can't know. This is literally...
I mean, she's up against the best hand she could be up against.
Exactly. She's in the best shape that she can possibly be in.
Yeah.
Really.
Other than the 4-6 of diamonds or something like that.
Yeah. Like 6-7.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Some random 6-7 of diamonds that's going ballistic. She's not happy about this.
Pretty crazy.
The interesting thing here is, like, you basically expect them to never jam. When you see bet on this board texture, you feel like it's never going to happen. I think this is a good fold. Obviously, she cannot know what good shape she was. But even then, you know, she's only 58% favourite. if Monica thinks she has a decent edge on the field, you know.
Yeah, I think that's
folding is absolutely
yeah,
fine.
totally.
Physics says, who is the lady with you, Picasso? This is the lovely Beth Cape. Beth, give the guys in the chat a little background on yourself.
Oh, well, I'm a student. I started playing cash games. Well, I started playing poker about 3 years ago or so. But kind of fell in love with cash, and it's kind of been like a side income / income because of a student.
Sure.
For a while now. And yeah, I've got an Instagram, Beth_Cape.
There you go, guys. A wee plug. A wee plug. There you go.
Shameless. Absolutely shameless.
Now you can follow Beth there. What was it again?
Beth_Cape.
Double plug. There we go. Now you can follow Beth there on Instagram. I'm not actually cool enough to have Instagram.
You totally should. Honestly, it's fantastic because you get to see where the good games are, and people brag about winning in certain places.
Okay.
And just go.
Right.
I was talking to a lad last night.
I just don't know if I've got the discipline to constantly update it and stuff, you know. I feel like my life's too boring.
You know what? You don't have to. Like, you really don't have to. Like, I usually take multiple. Like, I have one night of cash, take multiple pictures, and then you can just do throwbacks or whatever. Okay. You know.
Right, so let's pick up the action. Monica with the 2.5x under the gun with the ace-9 of diamonds. Very standard to open this hand. Alvarez peeled the button with only 10 big blinds behind.
Ooh, I'm not keen.
See, again, like I'm not sure why the ladies are jamming these boards. You know, like when your opponent, an aggressive opponent here, opens, we get the absolute nut flop. Yeah. King 6 deuce rainbow.
What's the min cash?
I believe it's around about 600 euros. This was a 250 euro buy-in, guys.
Oh, well, it's not huge, is it? So
no.
Yeah.
Soon we'll have a break, guys. When the table goes on a break, we will go on a little break ourselves, the commentators. I'm going to make sure that I have all of the payouts ready to tell you guys for when the bubble bursts. I'm not a big fan there, by the way, of either. I guess the flat is not the worst, but you know, you're so shallow. Like, we really wanted to be peeling with 12.5 bigs. I think 3-bet shoving king queen there is much better against an aggressive opponent.
You're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't want them to have ace king or king queen, ace queen, and then call off if I shit. But the thing is, if you flop a hand that you're calling with, they're going to have that hand anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
That's a weird way of saying it. But
Physics says, might have to get an Instagram now. I think that's a little bit of love for you. So yeah, you know, like this spot with the king queen. Much favour a 3-bet shove pre. We know that Monica's opening a lot of hands. We've already seen that she's opening multiple hands. Yeah. King queen's going to do pretty well, I think, as a 3-bet jam.
She's had a frustrating time so far, but she's kind of the table boss.
But like, you know, once we peel, we get the king 6 deuce, like it's the dream flop for king queen offsuit. King 6 deuce rainbow. Sorry. Monica checks. There's like 14k in the pot, and we just jam 19k. Like, what are we hoping? What are we hoping to get called by? You know, it's like
in a cash game when it's like limp for €1, and then someone goes all in for 200 euros places.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Well played. You got the max, etc. So, you know, I would have preferred there again, like just because it, you know, kind of looks pretty strong. I would have liked to have seen just a small bet on the flop even rather than a jam. You know, and like she could check back there and under rep her hand. The only real bad card, like we have a queen blocker, so it's not like we're scared of a queen on the turn. Basically, an ace is the only bad turn card. Just a few times, I think the ladies have not extracted the best value, in my opinion. Anyway, so Monica limp in the small blind. I like this strategy. She's going to have a lot of limp stabs in the small blind. I expect to see Monica bet small here.
I wonder if...
She has checked, though. Goes check.
That
Interesting turn.
That is a good turn.
Both players turn a gut shot. Gonna check again. Murphy doesn't take a stab. Looks like this is gonna get checked down. Monica will check. She has showdown with her 7. I like the check. Looks like it will go check.
Sorry.
Okay. Our main man, Mr. Tony Hitchoff, wanting Beth closer to the centre of the camera. You know. They've had enough of my ugly bearded mug being on screen. So Monica picking up a small pot there. Managing to get her stack back up to 62k. Guys, can you confirm if Juliana Oliveira is still in the tournament?
I could pop out and have a look.
You're all right. Apparently, Dark Angel says, according to Natalia, she was half an hour ago. So best of luck to Juliana. I hope my pronunciation was up to par. I've had a test in time with the old names. There was a gentleman from Lithuania called Darius Vavishia-Rishius.
You're brave to attempt them. You are brave.
Sorry, Darius, if I just insulted you. But it's quite
You just got
daunting.
unfollowed on
Quite daunting as a commentator. An interesting spot here, Connolly, with 16 big blinds to start this hand.
Raise all in.
So there we go. I actually much prefer these open jams. Like, look at this, you get to chase out a lot of hands. Maybe 16 bigs ever so slightly.
And maybe
I mean, it's not too much. You know, it's probably going to be a profitable jam.
And that is like an overfold.
Nah, like ace-6 we're folding for sure.
Yeah.
Like
How
against
many
a
bigs is it?
16 big blind
Oh,
jam.
okay, fair enough, yeah.
You know.
And yeah, I guess.
Hey, we have the bios. I love the caddy bringing the bios in. I'll be able to fill you guys in. You know, I like that from Connolly. You know, we've seen Connolly showing the pretty strong fundamentals. You know, open jamming the 5s, open jamming the 9s, open jamming the Jack 10, recognizing that these hands play best as shoves off a short stack.
To be fair, they're all doing a lot better than I would be at that table, because I wouldn't know.
I like it actually. Connolly. So is Connolly the player of the year? Is this because you did say seat 1? Because she seems to be playing very well. It makes sense. Willow, I believe, right? Let's see if we've got Willow Connolly in the mix.
Raise 7,000.
It is a Wilhelmine Connolly, aka Willow. So there you go. Willow showing some skills. Now Connolly under the gun. Now this time, interestingly, she has only made it 7k. Now typically here, after she's just been open shoving, she's either going to have like a really strong hand here or a raise steal. We have more bios coming in. They're flooding in. Are we going to get to see what she had? Unfortunately not. Yeah, Dark Angel, thank you. We are indeed, guys. We're on a 20-minute delay. Coming to you guys from the City West Hotel here in Dublin. This is the Ladies' Championship event, guys. €250 buy-in. We are closing in on the final table. I believe we're down to 10 players, maybe 9 at this point. Next break, guys, as I said, I'll fill you in on updated chip counts and payouts. And yeah, guys, we're closing in on the middle of the Irish Open week. Day 1A of the main event is going on around us, guys. If you want to follow, how chip stacks are doing live updates, please go to irishpokeropen.com. Select from the drop-down box. You'll have all of the scheduling, everything that's going to be on, guys, for the rest of the week. And we have the live updates on our blog on who's doing well day 1A. Get to see who's out in front early. Really looking forward to covering the main actually later in the week. Winner's probably going to get upwards of €250,000, guys. So I'm actually pretty stoked. I'll be getting to commentate on the final table, etc. Quite excited actually. A lot of money up for grabs. Is your better half going to play in the main?
He's in right now.
He's in the main?
He is, yeah. I think he's got like double starting stat, double average.
Nice.
So, well, to be fair, he's very good at building a stack or doing like 3 bullets in. So
yeah.
They do call him bullets powers.
Awesome. Dark Angel says, can Ian do it again? For any of you guys in the chat who don't know, Mr. Ian Simpson, had the pleasure of meeting him this week. I believe he won the Irish Open main in 2013. I want to say 2013, guys. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Best of luck to Ian. I believe he is playing now as well.
Lovely guy as well.
Yep.
He was doing well to dumb it down for Gabriel. We were saying like 3-bet and everything, and I realised, geez, like when people talk in poker.
Here we go. Sorry to cut you off.
That's alright.
Connolly playing the limping strategy from the small. You know what? Actually, generally nowadays, that is a trend in modern poker. The old limp with, close to 100% of your range, actually, a lot of regs from the small. Monica's going to raise here for absolute sure.
What about calling out the big blind with like, to a min raise, calling out the big blind with like 11 bigs? I heard that was getting to be.
Oh yeah, that's kind of super standard as well these days. Not with like every hand, but you're getting the right price. These days people enjoy to defend, try and flop some equity. Like it definitely used to be about 5 years ago. I'm not a big fan of this from Monica, we'll get back to it in a second, but anyway, a bunch of years ago it used to be, oh, I'm down to 10 big blinds, I can't be putting chips in the pot unless they're all going into the pot. Whereas, the definite trend nowadays is, with these kind of mid-strength hands, 8, 9, 7, 8 and all this kind of thing, people will defend, try and flop some post-flop equity and get it in. which I'm fully on board with. Also, you can't just let yourself blind out and like, you know, sometimes, especially against opponents that are opening a lot of hands, you can defend.
Yeah, and I
you're
mean,
like basically looking to flop a pair.
And I mean, the thing is, you can check, and then they're often going to see bet because it's your stack at risk. So it means more to you than it does to them. So they're often going to put pressure on you.
Yeah, and also, you know, when you're defending for one big blind and you're short, it's not difficult to play many hands post. You know,
true.
typically if you flop a pair, like middle pair or whatever, it's going to go in.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to be put to the test. You don't have to do too much.
On your break, you should be making your way back to your seat.
Hey, there we go, Dark Angel. Cheers. There we go.
5,500.
Piotr says, good luck, Monica. Love in the chat. By the way, let's go back to that hand. So Connolly limped the jack 6 of clubs of 21 bigs. Monica just jams the ace queen. Of course, it's unexploitable and it's never a mistake to jam like the ace queen, but I would like to just see a raise call off there. You know, you give your opponent who limped the chance to limp shove with like worse aces, worse broadways that we dominate, stuff like that. I personally like a sort of 3.5x raise.
What was the effective
21 bigs.
21 bigs, that's quite a big shove, isn't it? It's like such a premium that many handed.
Well, here we go. Avera. Again, you know, people are putting themselves in these spots where they're only opening off these sort of 15 big blinds or so stacks. I think she is going to fold here. That is my read of the situation. And I don't fault it once your opponent jams from the button. Like, does Connolly have many worse hands that jam here? Probably not jamming like, you know, king jack off and stuff, but don't think Connolly's going to shove. But this is the problem when you just open off like 15 bigs here in a 5-handed game.
Totally.
A hand like ace jack, we should just be shoving, you know. It's
You're
gonna
in this weird spot now.
Exactly, and like little does she know she's essentially flipping. I think she's gonna fold. As soon as people take this amount of time, she doesn't look happy about it. Well, you know, I would prefer just to open like maybe a hand like ace king here. If we're gonna go with this strat, I'd rather open like really strong hands that are raise calling off, or really, really bad hands that are raise folding.
And I guess it's
makes your life easier.
Such a small sample size that people won't start to realise what
For
you're
sure.
doing it with.
Exactly. It's not like you need to be, you know, people go on about
Totally
balance in
balancing,
poker,
yeah.
which is important, but maybe not in the short term against players that you may never play against live again.
Yeah, I guess it's that, and then the fact that they're short-handed, so you adapt to when
Absolutely.
you're on the final table and you're 8-handed again.
I mean, like, the longer this goes, right, look, when you look at her, she does not look like she's calling to me. It's not the body language of someone who's going to make the side call, in my opinion. She may be looking, actually, to see if what's going on at the other table. She might be looking at the, you know, chance to move onto our unofficial final table. She's going to fold, I think. Looks like a side fold, right? That looks like a side fold face.
Well, if you're Connolly, you're very happy about this.
I mean, Connolly knows that her hand's good, you know?
Yeah, but
that's
like as
sure.
soon as she doesn't snap you off, you're just like
Absolutely.
winning. You're just like it's you know it's plus EV. As soon
You know,
as she doesn't snap you off.
Connolly will be hoping that Avera's tanking with 9s or 8s in this spot.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick.
And Colin, obviously. Yeah, I felt like she was going to fold. I mean, Connolly, you know, had avoiding a 5-card showdown, she was not going to be too unhappy. If she knows her opponent has ace-jack, does pick it up without showdown, and on we go.
Oh, so often like
Connolly playing well, you know, like I said, fundamentals, she hasn't really made any mistakes.
there's so much value in like 3-betting, that sort of thing, and then just not seeing a flop, just getting a fold.
Yeah.
Because you just deny all equity. And
Very
like,
standard stuff there,
getting into
20
a
bigs,
flip.
easy 3-bet jam with the 10s. Yeah, Pavel, you know, I don't like massively fault they fold once we just open. Like, I'm not sure if Connolly, you know, does just pick on us with a 3-bet jam with many hands we dominate. Like at like Queen Jack off, and she's just banging it in. Ace 10 off. You know, a lot of the time I think we're not flipping. Sorry, I don't think we're crushing too many hands in Connolly's range. Happy to be proven wrong. I haven't seen enough of her. I'm not sure if Connolly does 3-bet jam like 9-10 suited and stuff in these spots ever.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, you know, Avera just avoids this problem. If 15 bigs to start the hand, kind of want her to just jam. It's 5-handed, you know, ace-jack, strong hand. Not really a hand I want to raise fold too often in a 5-handed game.
Yeah, it's pretty noted.
Definitely in the stronger portion of our open shove range, in any case.
Monica looks a bit exasperated. I guess she's used to six max. She plays a lot of 6 max online.
I believe she's playing a lot of multi-table tournaments and stuff.
Okay,
I think, but yeah, some 6 max, and I think she used to play a bunch of cash, and transition into tournaments, and now, like you say, playing a lot more live poker. Connolly in the cut-off, king 8 off. Typically we'll see a fold. She's been very solid as well. I'm not sure if she'll open this hand. Good fold. Now we know that Monica likes to open a lot of pots. This is fine. Especially, you know, like she's just seen Overa raise fold a few times off a shallow stack. Makes you want to attack more with the weaker parts of your range.
And as well, if she has that info in like 30
See, here we go.
minutes
This is an example here. Like a lot of players will snap defend the king in the spot against the button open. But you know, this is something that if you pick up that read that your opponents are literally only going to get the chips in with the really strong parts of their range. I mean, you can open with impunity really and expect them not to defend too much when their stack is getting shallow. So, Murphy out front, guys. Let's go through the bios then, right? So let's start with Willow. Wilhelmine Connolly. Online name Philicon. From Ireland, Dublin, age over 21. Loving that. Willow, you don't look a day over 21, I tell you. Favourite week start in hand is 6-4 off. Biggest poker win 10k. Favourite sport poker, love that. Favourite movie Calamity Jane, interesting. Favourite poker player Vicky Corin, Vicky's very cool. What odds do you give yourself to win? Average, loving that.
Is there any dealers in the satellite that need to sell a rebuy or top up at their table?
I thought you were talking about me for
Last call.
Tranquil Mind says good fold. Are we talking about the ace jack? Yeah. I think that once we just open, kind of force the fold, to be honest. Unless we think that, you know, Connolly's really getting out of line. Now Connolly with the 9s. Starting this hand with 21 bigs. Typically we just open here and evaluate what happens behind. She has shown the tendency to just jam these hands though.
We're coming back with an ante of 100. Small blind is 400. Large
Giving off a
blind
few
is 800.
body language tells.
Best of luck.
I think she has just jammed. Again, you know, but she's showing she understands. Now look, see, she could have been put in a tough spot here.
Yeah.
When she just opens, like I feel like this just gets through now. I don't think Murphy will call. You know, it is kind of unexploitable to just jam 20 big blinds here with 9s in 5-handed game. Murphy with the sigh raise of the eyebrows, I don't think she calls. Be surprised.
Yeah, she's
Ace
checking how much
10,
she'll
just,
have
you know,
left.
not quite strong enough. I think Ace Queen here becomes an easy call. Ace Jack suited is close. Ace 10 off, I think we fold to an open shove.
Do you think it makes a difference when you find out that Willow was player of the year? Because you think, oh, she's actually at it more than you expect?
I mean, you know, for example, like even if you're player of the year, like she isn't just going to open shove here with, you know, nonsense. Like
Yeah,
she's not going to
that's
open
true.
shove Ace 8 here, for example.
Yeah.
But wow, Katya has called it off. Not a huge fan of this. She does have 7 bigs, 6.5 bigs. You know, like is King 8 what is King 8 doing well against Connolly's open jam range? I don't believe it's doing quite well enough. Anyway, she's going to need a king or she's going to be missing out on the final table. Good flop for Willow. Turn is a 7, it's a great turn. So going to need one of the 3 remaining kings. GG, and we lose Katya.
I think I've played against Katya before.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm not sure where, but I do recognise her.
I think, guys, we are going to be having a redraw soon based on the bios that have been handed to me. Probably going to be getting a redraw for our feature table. Now, we should be down to at minimum 9 players now. Daniel says, go Willow. You know what? I like how Willow's playing, gotta say. You can tell that she knows her fundamentals, you know, with these open shoves. It's good to see. But like that was a classic example where, I mean, I would actually just raise call it off with 9s. I think the hand is strong enough in a 5-handed game that, you know, like I think raise calling's good.
Okay.
But the point I was getting at is we've seen a few times players have like opened off these shallow stacks and then been forced to fold. Obviously over 20 big blinds that changes a bit. But the fact that Willow just open jams there forces the ace 10 to just like have to fold on the button.
If she opens 9s, does Katya shove the king 8?
We will never know. This is the thing. It's possible that Murphy then plays the ace 10.
Yeah, that's
This
true.
is
That's
the thing
true.
that's
Just
interesting
flats.
about the spot.
Yeah.
She may have just flatted in position, you know, with 2 overcards in position. Not a great spot for the 9s in general.
Let's have a look at Monica's.
As you can see, guys, our players are filling in the bios. I'm gonna let Beth take the.
Oh yeah,
take,
that'd be fun.
Beth, give us some info on the remaining players,
Okay,
please.
well, we should go for the ones that are at the table at the moment, I guess.
Sure.
So Vera, should we do? Oh yeah, she's from Norway. She's 44, and she likes 7-5 of spades as her favourite hand. She likes the Winter Olympics that I've just been on, so it must have been a good couple of.
Everything Norway wins.
Favourite movie, Forrest Gump.
Yep.
I can do an impression, but I'll embarrass myself.
We got a break coming up? No.
Okay, cool. Favourite poker player, Johnny Lodden. You know, I went to Vegas this summer. Second day, I met Johnny Lodden, and it was like.
Is it a break now? Okay, so finish this
okay,
one, and then me and you can take a swift break.
I saw Johnny Lodden in person, and I was very excited.
10-minute break. Cool. Right, so guys, you know what? So that we can enjoy our swift 10-minute break, as you can see, before we do the redraw for the final table, guys, me and Beth are going to go for a 10-minute break. Please come back and join us. Loving that you joined us so far. Join us for the culmination of the Ladies' Championship event. See you in 10 minutes.
€150 buy-in event. It was the Irish Open Championship 6 Max. Event 2 was a €150 deep stack 6 Max event. And event 3 was an €80 buy-in for the satellite for the main event, where 5 seats were guaranteed.
Manuel's hand holds here. Chris would get third place here because he has more money than Frodo to start hand, and he's going for it. Fair play. Wow, Manuel in a dominating spot.
It's three-way all, man.
Manuel in a
three-way all,
dominating spot here to go heads up with all the
5:30 in the
chips.
morning.
Cornelius, and welcome to the Irish Open 2018 here at the beautiful City West Hotel in Dublin. Wednesday, of course, the main event starts taking place. It's a whopping €1 million guaranteed, but plenty of fun to be had before that. Today at 4 p.m. we have a €350 buy-in event happening. It's the Irish Open Championship. It starts at 4 p.m. and also plenty of satellites to try and get yourself in the action before Wednesday. And welcome to Dublin for the Irish Poker Open 2018, the most prestigious poker tournament in Europe and the longest running in Europe. We're here at the beautiful university grounds of Trinity College. Tell me your name.
My name is Mark McGill.
And tell me, what do you know about poker?
I know a bit, quite a bit.
Do you know anything about poker, the card game?
No, I only know the name, but I've never played in my life.
I know that it is a game that tries your, I guess your luck, for lack of a better word, and you have to be pretty good at keeping a straight face, or poker face as they call it.
I know most of the rules because I play quite often.
I know that it's a card game where you can win money.
Well, I've played. We have, you know, we put €10 each. And we play a mini tournament, who winner takes all. And you know, we are like five or six maybe, and we play for, you know, but you know, small amounts because we don't have so much. But it's always fun, you know, to read the other opponent.
Well, it's all about the different hands that you can have, and betting, and obviously bluffing as well, and then trying to read people's other hands as well.
I don't watch any Irish games. Is that a thing?
Do you know any Irish poker players, or any poker players at all?
No.
The Irish Open, which could be around €300,000, what would you spend it on?
Going over to Texas to visit my girlfriend.
If I won 300,000, I'd probably keep them in a bank account for some time, and then, get some interest on them, and then I don't know what I'll do with them, to be honest. Maybe buy a car.
What would you do if you won 300,000 euros?
I'd buy a car. I don't know.
If you won 300,000 euros, what would you spend the money on?
I think traveling around the world, yeah.
If you won 300,000 euro, what would you spend the money on?
Traveling, for sure.
What would you do with that money if you won it?
I would invest in smart land conservation and wildlife conservation research, because that's what I'm interested in professionally.
Well, I would pay my debts, and there is in Africa there is a problem there with the food. I would invest in that food. Well, and for me, maybe maybe find a flat, but rent it, because I don't have time. It's not good to buy. I would help something better.
You won 300,000 euro. What would you do with it?
Keep traveling around the world. I'm just to travel and eat in good places.
And if you won the Irish Poker Open for around 300k, what would you spend the money on?
I'd probably give it to ourselves and put it down for a deposit of a house, or buy a house, pretty much.
Give us your poker face.
Forget about it.
Hi, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to the Irish Poker Open. I have found some worthy players to join me today. What's your favourite starting hand? Who's your favourite player? Who do you think is going to win the Irish Poker Open? Do you know anything about poker? These guys know a lot about poker. This is Ireland, where Guinness is everything, so I'm going to learn how to pull a pint.
When it settles, that's settled now. The black is all up to there, and that's the head. So you just get it then, and you top it like that. And that's your pint of Guinness there.
Can I taste it?
Yes.
Cornelius and welcome to the beautiful rural countryside of Dublin. Today is day 2 of the Irish Poker Open 2018 and it promises to be another action-packed day full of poker. I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome back to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now, the dealers here at the Irish Open see a lot of crazy stuff happening at the tables all the time. But what I wanted to know was, what is the craziest hand they've ever seen?
So the craziest hand what I dealt was ace queen and 2 5s. Yeah, it was like ace queen queen on the flop, turn 5, river 5. It was like quads and full house in one hand. Amazing.
Tell us about the craziest hand you ever dealt.
For example, last night I had one hand in 5-10 Omaha pot limit, where it was 6-way all in with 3 side pots, the 6,500 pot, and the guy wins with ace 2 offsuited.
Like, I remember quads against the quads, royal flush against the quads as well. Like a lot of big bad beats for the players, like on the river, killing them and everything.
Actually, that was yesterday. I put 4 of a kind aces on flop, and it was a split spot, but it was crazy. It was the first time with 4 of a kind in the flop aces.
And it's always the same story. Flop the nuts, crack them on the river, and they're like, oh, crying always. Just take a cup, put on it a crying cup, €2 if you want to cry. Come on, I have no time for that.
Hello, I'm Laura Cornelius and welcome to our coverage of the Irish Poker Open 2018. Now, 5-10 offsuit. Not a great starting hand, but would you ever play it? I asked some of our players. Would you ever play 5-10 offsuit, and if you would, when would you play it?
There's many instances I would play 5-10 offsuit. I wouldn't say full ring from early position or something, but somewhere from the button, in the big blind, heads up.
I wouldn't really be known for my splashing around, but maybe like in a drunken, friendly cash game, try and bring some pain on someone.
Probably once I had a few glasses of wine and I really wanted to bust someone, so my opening range would be, or calling range, quite wide, and I would just play if I don't like a person.
Yes, I would certainly play 5-10 off. For example, if I had a big stack near the bubble and there was some really scared, really weak player in the big blind like David Lappin, then I would play 10-5 off.
5-10 off. Maybe from the button, but probably never. Like back in the days, a bunch of people used to play 10-3 off and then make a big brag deal about it, but I never really got that either, so I'd say never.
I've had a lot of chips and I was on the button. Old Ludo would definitely play 5-10 off a lot more, but new Ludo would need a lot of chips and he'd need to be on the button.
I would play 5-10 off at any situation. You can flop every straight draw, every flush draw, and you can make a really good joke at the end, be like, oh look, no one can have a straight because I have 5-10 off, yeah. And that's what poker's all about at the end of the day.
Welcome to the Irish Poker Open 2018. Event 1 was a €350 buy-in event. It was the Irish Open Championship 6 Max. Event 2 was a €150 Deep Stack 6 Max event. And event 3 was an €80 buy-in for the Satellite for the main event, where 5 seats were guaranteed.
Manuel's hand holds here. Chris would get third place here because he has more money than Frodo at the start hand, and he's going for it. Fair play. Wow, Manuel in a dominating spot.
3-way all in.
Manuel in a
3-way all in.
dominating spot here to go heads up with all the
5:30 in the morning.
Laura Cornelius and welcome to the Irish Open 2018 here at the beautiful City West Hotel in Dublin. Wednesday, of course, the main event starts taking place. It's a whopping €1 million guaranteed, but plenty of fun to be had before that. Today at 4 p.m. we have a €350 buy-in event happening. It's the Irish Open Championship. It starts at 4 p.m. and also plenty of satellites to try and get yourself in the action before Wednesday. Hello and welcome to Dublin for the Irish Poker Open 2018, the most prestigious poker tournament in Europe and the longest running in Europe. We're here at the beautiful university grounds of Trinity College. Tell me your name.
My name is Mark McGill.
And tell me, what do you know about poker?
I know a bit, quite a bit.
Do you know anything about poker, the card game?
No, I only know the name, but I've never played in my life.
I know that it is a game that tries your, I guess your luck, for lack of a better word, and you have to be pretty good at keeping a straight face, or poker face as they call it.
I know most of the rules because I play quite often.
I know that it's a card game where you can win money.
Well, I've played. We have you know, we put €10 each, and we play a mini tournament. Who winner takes all, and you know we are like five or six maybe, and we play for but small amounts because we don't have so much. But it's always fun, to read the other opponent.
Well, it's all about the different hands that you can have, and betting, and obviously bluffing as well. And then trying to read people's other hands as well.
I don't watch any Irish games. Is that a thing?
Do you know any Irish poker players or any poker players at all?
No.
The Irish Open, which could be around €300,000, what would you spend it on?
Going over to Texas to visit my girlfriend.
If I won 300,000, I'd probably keep them in a bank account for some time and then get some interest on them, and then I don't know what I'll do with them, to be honest. Maybe buy a car.
What would you do if you won €300,000?
I'd buy a car.
Hello guys, we are back. We have had our final table redraw, guys, of the ladies event. This is the ladies championship event here at the Irish Poker Open. I'm your host, guys, for the week, Andrew Headley, aka Picasso. Guys, I will be with you. I've been here from the start of the week already. We're having an awesome week of action so far here in the City West Hotel, guys, in Dublin. We're on a 20-minute delay. It's just to protect the integrity of the game. You guys know the drill by now who follow streams. Beth Cape will be rejoining me shortly. The lovely Beth, she is away taking a picture, actually, guys, of the payouts and stuff. So she's doing all the, important stuff while I sit here and spiel away. So as you can see, just getting a few pictures at the final table. There are 9 players left, guys. The top 6 will be getting paid. €250 buy-in ladies main event. I've just been out in the poker room having a look around. The main event, day 1A, is in progress. A bunch of heroes still in. I saw Kevin Killeen there, boss of Irish Poker. Max Silver, I saw he has a bunch of chips still in. Klasa Segabrecht, Mark McDonnell, the Slug, we love him. There's loads and loads and loads of players like bosses still in this event. Anybody who has not decided to come and play the main yet, we do have day 1B tomorrow. It's an €1,150, €1 million guarantee, guys. Anyone who loves poker, has faith in their tournament game. Unmissable comp, to be perfectly honest. I will be here, guys, covering the action for you as we go through the week, right up to the end of the festival on the 18th. So the cards are back in the air, guys. Beth has picked up the bios of the remaining 9 players. And also, what did we decide? What's up top?
Oh,
yeah, let's have a look. We'll have a wee look at the payouts, guys. 6 players are paid, I believe, so we are 9-handed. So 3 away from the money.
So 6th is 5-10.
Here we go. So Guys, up top, €2,500 for the winner, not too shabby in the slightest. Then we have 1,700, 1,100, 840, 650, and €510. So straight into the action. Bennett Martin, all in, very standard stuff. Round about 10 big blinds with the ace king. Easy, easy jam.
Ah, this is Bennett Martin.
Cool.
So her nickname is Lizzie.
Beth's going to go through all the players, guys, so here we go. This is a test of your Coke-on skills. I'll have a sip on my Dublin cider.
She's from Canada. She's 55. Where is she?
Seat 5, I believe.
Seat
Seat
5, okay,
5.
cool. She likes 7-8 suited. Her biggest poker win was 45k US dollars.
Very decent.
Favorite sports team is a hockey team, the Niagara Ice Dogs.
I've never heard of them.
Okay, cool. Favorite movie, E.T. And her favorite poker player is Kristen Bicknell, which is a hero.
Kristen Bicknell, a bit of a boss actually. Making waves in the ladies in the
odds that you give yourself to
ladies
win.
realm of poker, man. She is a crusher.
Odds to give yourself to win, 20%.
1 in 5, that seems fair. There are only 9 left, right? That seems fair.
Who else should we do next?
So as Beth searches through the bios, I will cover the action on the table. Folded around, Murphy folding the 9-10.
Ah yes, so Willow. Oh, we did.
Yeah, we
oh,
did Willow.
Okay, sorry. Monica.
In the hijack, here we go. In the cut-off, McCann with the ace-queen off. Starting this hand with 13 bigs. I'd like to just see a shove. Interesting if she does elect to just open. I would imagine that she's just raised calling with this hand. Kind of getting dicey when you only have 13 bigs. Definitely in favour of raise call when you have around about 15, 16 bigs at some tables. She gets it through though.
So McCann is from Dublin.
So with Mary Rose McCann.
Mary Rose McCann.
Okay.
She's 30. Her favourite week starting hand is 4-5. She has a few small cashes online. Her favourite sports team, I guess that's football, Liverpool. She likes the Breakfast Club. And her favourite poker player is Vanessa Selbst. I like...
No, no longer. Vanessa has retired, we're hearing.
Yeah.
You know what, Vanessa? I got a lot of love for Vanessa, to be honest. I think she gets a lot of unwarranted criticism, in my opinion.
Yeah, I saw a bit of stuff go down on Twitter and I thought it was a bit...
I mean, you know, she can be a little bit abrasive at the table with her manner and stuff, but I think it's just because she's super competitive, right? Like, yeah. I've had the pleasure of meeting her in Vegas. I think she's cool. Like, you know, just because not everyone at the table likes to be all, like, jokey and chatty. Some people are there to win, you know what I mean? I think it's harsh to criticise people based on their table image.
I wish I had the heart to do what she does in hand, so...
Yeah, she's not scared, right? You gotta give her that, guys. Anybody who has watched Vanessa play, she is not scared in the slightest. Let's get the chat back down to where we're at. So guys, loving that you are joining us, guys.
Fine.
All week long, everyone in the chat has been brilliant. I love the interaction. Any questions for me or for Beth, please fire away. I will endeavour to involve you guys as much as possible. So we are round 2. So I believe, right, from what was said earlier, that the A is pronounced as, like Lord or... So, Overo. You guys can tell me if that is wrong. Anyway, Overo has jammed from the cut-off. Very standard jam, 10 bigs, good shove. Picks it up with no resistance.
I guess it's just more them in their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like 9-handed, 8-handed.
You know, 10 bigs, easy peasy, lemon squeezy jam. Daniel Lewis, got a grand you can lend me, Andy? Of course I do. Meet me at the bar. Daniel, fire down. No problem, mate. I'll just flick it over. Or maybe if you beat me at shuffleboard, I'll lend you a grand.
I've never played that. I've never even seen one.
There we go. Artent says Overo is much closer. Which basically means that I'm still mispronouncing it, right? Well, doing my best.
Yeah, you're still the song lady every time. But.
Yeah, Daniel says Vanessa 7-bet with Jack 7 of diamonds self.
Oh, I literally
It's a famous hand, yeah, super famous hand. She's just like, you know what? I'm no believing you. I don't care if you've 6-bet, mate. I'm all in.
Yeah, like when he just like he just rips it, and she's just like, oops, I guess I got a call now.
Yeah, I can't remember if she called. Yeah, maybe she called.
She had to.
Maybe she was priced in.
Yeah,
Okay.
she put in like 2/3 of her stack.
Oh, so our chip. I think this is our chip leader, Butler. Do we have a Christian name?
Let's have a
I like
look.
to. I like to be polite and have all the.
It's Louise.
Here we go. Miss Louise Butler.
She is
Super standard Queen 10 of diamonds. Loving that hand on the button.
She's from Galway, so pretty
Okay.
local. She's 31. Oh wow! Her biggest poker win was last night.
Oh.
30k.
Oi oi.
In dollars.
Oi oi, Louise. Maybe she was grinding online.
Yeah, she was
Possible.
online. That's sick.
What a
Oh
boss.
my
Louise
God.
coming off a 30k win last night. Louise is a Party Poker Pro,
amazing.
that is correct.
Oh, wow.
Bang, bang, bang. She has flopped a royal flush draw, guys. Murphy has defended the big blind. I mean, typically this is going to go check, bet, fold.
And Butler also says, when we asked her what odds do you give yourself to win, not answering this one, lol.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I'm giving her a good chance to win. She is our chip leader. She has flopped a royal draw. I mean, typically this just goes check, bet, fold.
Yeah,
Really nothing Murphy can do with Queen
I guess
7 off.
as a cash game player, I'm much more excited than would be in a tournament.
Nah. I mean, who's not had royal draws like multiple times in their life? Take more than that to get us excited here in the booth, guys.
How many times have you had a royal?
In my life, royal 3 times.
3 times.
Maybe 4.
Is that live or online as well?
I flopped a royal once in a live tournament, which was exciting.
Pretty good.
Actually got paid as well, which is also pretty cool. Yeah, that was years and years ago. I played in the old UK IPT Edinburgh. I think it was one of my first ever live tournaments actually, and I just had the old King 10 of hearts and got the Ace Queen Jack of hearts flop. Doing the little happy dance. We actually got paid a little bit, so that was good. Okay, we'll keep going through our bios. So Louise, 30,000 richer from last night, and the chip leader here. So Monica folding under the gun.
Okay, let's see who.
Round to Bennett Martin with the 7-4 off. Now, interesting spot here for McCann. I like this fold a lot. 8-10 of hearts. She only had around about 16 bigs. It looks like I think it's Rachel Hennigan.
Raise 5,000.
Certainly is.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
Rachel, absolute boss.
She's from Nottingham, so right next to Dustle Dawn.
Lovely lady. She works in the poker world. Awesome lady. She's like super talented, gets stuff done. So she's opening with the deuces and the hijack. Don't mind it. You know, it's probably like one of our weakest hands that we could open. In any case, she does open and gets it through from the hijack. Nice hand for Rachel.
Her biggest win was 14k in dollars, so
Yeah.
possibly on Party Poker.
And she's a Man United fan. Always appreciated, loving that. Although, did get embarrassed last night, which is not great. Hey, Willie, back in the chat. Mr. Willie Elliott. Louise just wrote a great blog piece on Willow. Willow won the Irish Poker Series Player of the Year, officially the best player in Ireland. So much love for Willow. Loving it, Willie. Hey, look, Willow so far hasn't put a foot wrong. I was praising her fundamentals. Looks like a super strong player, to be perfectly honest with you. Haven't seen her make a mistake as of yet. Hopefully, for Willow's sake, that continues. So Bennett Martin under the gun with a 12 and a little bit big blinds. This is pretty close with ace-4 suited. 9-handed, close. This is like a bottom of the range jam. You can make an argument for shoving here or folding. I'm okay with both. Could never really critique either. I don't like to see Justin open here, would be the worst option. I like this fold. Super close, 10 big blinds, I think we're all in. Especially because we're not in the money yet. Excuse me.
Have I used Snap Shove?
I have. Yeah, it's good for guidelines. I think over the years as you play poker you learn and learn and learn kind of standard ranges. Always good to brush up though.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool app. I like testing new cards.
Created by Mr. Max Silver, an absolute boss poker player in his own right. He's still in the main, guys. Day 1A is going on outside of the booth. Connolly with a big open here and a cut off with the Jack 10. Interesting sizing. She actually goes over 3x. Gets the job done.
I guess like sometimes like
See it,
people
you
go
know
on the
what?
bigger side because they're scared of getting called. And
You know, this might actually just be an example of Willow's ability. You know, she knows that Monica's pretty sticky player in the big blind.
And she's
and
sized up.
It's possible she sizes up basically because she knows Monica will defend light. If that's her thought process, you know, that's an intelligent adjustment that a lot of people actually make this mistake. Where, you know, really strong players in the big blind who like to defend a lot They don't adjust their sizings. You know, I remember like people used to say, oh, you should always size the same, etc., etc. It's kind of going out of fashion in modern poker. People are recognizing, you know, the traits and tendencies of the players at their table, especially in the big blind when they're going to defend a lot. Makes sense to price out strong players from defending their entire range against your opens. I like it. Willow definitely playing well. Now Rachel with a 7-5 of hearts. Good fold. I think it's just below what we kind of would open as our mid-strength hands. Now Louise, Queen 8 off. Also like this fold. Now we know that Connolly's open in this hand. Willow for sure will not be folding the King Jack of clubs. Now let's see if she chooses the same size. Maybe that'll give us an insight into the size she made it against Monica.
Well, I guess she was...
No, she has made it the same, so this is obviously the size that she's electing to go with.
I guess in that spot though, she has... Monica's less often going to call out the small blind than she is out the big blind.
Oh, for sure.
But
Absolutely.
then she's got one more person to get through as well, so maybe the same size.
There's the legendary Podrick Parkinson on the rail, giving his support to Willow. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah, Monica's like not going to flatten the small blind really ever.
Yeah.
Off her stack size. You know what? I'd be interested. Maybe the blinds have gone up to 1500 3K. Like that might be why Willow is open in 7.5. You know,
these are
2.5 bigs. It looks like it. Look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put my reputation on the line, guys, and say the blinds have gone up to 1500 3K. No, they haven't. So I'm wrong. Disaster. Yeah, interesting. I would like to know why Willow's going with the over 3x open. You know, usually there's a strategic reason for doing so. Be interesting to see if we can get any light shed on it. Martin van Zwijkwa, rumour says that Frankie is a better player than Monica. Correct? Well,
I've heard the story.
Obviously Frankie is better. Frankie is better than everybody.
Have you heard the story about the heads up?
I don't know.
Right, so Monica,
sure if I have.
Monica and him had a...
Oh, hang on. We're going to come back to the story, you know. If we're ever going to cut it off, now's the time. Now, this open from Rachel, under the gun +1 in a 9-handed table, you know, Queen Jack off, very dicey. Like it's, I mean, I'm folding this hand. It's, you know, too low really in our value range to be opening a full ring table. Maybe if the table's letting you get away with it all the time. Great fold from Kilroy. It's fairly standard, but nice to see that she lets it go.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're card dead, you're just dying to get hands, and then when you have a hand like Ace Jack finally,
absolutely,
you get excited, I guess.
Connolly, pretty big 3-bet sizing.
First 3-bet that hasn't been a jam, actually, that we've seen, I think.
Yeah. Well, she's finally deep enough now, Willow, to actually not have to do so. Quite a large sizing. She does go close to 3x. I suppose it's not really that large. Maybe 2.7x size 3-bet. Seems fine, actually. If, you know, Rachel has value hands there, she's going to be in a spot where she's going to want a 4-bet jam, so it seems fine. Frankie. Right, yeah, tell us the Frankie heads up story. Let's go.
Yeah, so what happened was, and this is the first time I ever talked to Frankie.
Right.
He told me the story. So I said, oh yeah, I do know Monica. And he said, oh, did you hear about the prop bet that we did? And I was like, oh, like, you know, everyone does prop bets.
Okay.
Different kind of prop bet. Like, this was like putting a lot on the line.
Okay.
Basically what Frankie does is he does like a prop bet where it's like, let's do a heads up game, and if whoever loses has to work for like a month in Aldi.
Right, okay. So like a proper prop bet.
A proper shit.
Not just,
like, yeah.
not just involving money. Okay.
And the person who wins gets nothing but not to work in Aldi for a month. So anyway, there was a heads up where it was best of 3. And Franken wasn't actually like around to play live, so we got 2 other people to play instead.
Come on, that's not fair.
It kind of isn't. So anyway, so the
3
first
aces involved here.
Okay.
Hang on, we're going to pick it back up. Want to give the fans the concept. So Louise, I like the open, a suited ace deuce. You know, these suited wheel aces, when we have a big stack, people like to open them a lot. Now Murphy with the ace 10, we did see the spot where Willow opened jam 9s, where she had ace 10. We thought she might peel. She has elected to do so here with the ace 10. I favour a 3-bet with a hand like ace 10 off. You know, it doesn't flop great. We have position on the chip leader who's going to be opening a lot of pots. Love, like, I mix this into my 3-bet fold hand selection, ace 10. Anyway, obviously flying is not the worst against a player that's opening a lot. We are in position we can call. And Overa, of course,
But
defends.
5,500.
Now, interesting here, Overa is just Overo.
Vero.
Now, not sure if I'm a massive fan of this. It looks like it's going to work, but, you know, she has defended with a 6, which is super standard, a 6 suited. Now, but if we look at the pot size compared to her stack, she literally has pot. And she's elected to lead for 5.5k.
And you're just getting called by like.
I mean, we can see that it's going to work. We can see that it's going to work here, like,
Results
mostly.
oriented. In a way, but
I think you just can get exploited. Like, what hands is Overo leading from the big blind here? Like, does she lead with a jack?
Yeah.
Because if you only ever lead here with a 6, you're going to get exploited for absolute sure. But it does work. Big pickup for her as well. She was getting short. That's like close to a double up.
So
Carry on. My
the
apologies.
prop bet was, Frank said whoever loses this out of 3 heads up had to go to Portugal, drive an old car, and pick up a chicken.
Oh, I do actually know this.
Yeah, pick up like a fried
Like
chicken.
a Nando's or
yeah,
something
Yeah,
like
like that kind of thing, like from a certain restaurant in Portugal.
Wow.
Drive all the way in like basically like in a wreck of a car.
In like a Morris Minor.
All the way back to Estonia.
Wow.
And Monica didn't even have to play Franca because she lost the first 2 heads ups. So he didn't even have to
she had
lift
to
a finger. And apparently the car broke down.
Oh, wow. Incredible scenes. So there you go, Frankie, there you go. You got yourself peri peri chicken. That's like a pure proof. Pure proof that you're the best. Pure proof that you're the greatest poker player of all. All right. Now, Louise, I like this fold with ace-9 off. Here goes Willow's on a bit of a tear here. She's managed to chip up from like 50k to 84k. Definitely going to open Queen Jack of Hearts.
Now she can bully a little
Now,
bit.
is she going to go 7.5k yet again?
Come on.
Oh, now she flicks a limp in. Interesting. Very interesting from Willow. Wow, Murphy folds the 6s. Slightly on the tight side, but her stack's not great and she has a lot of the table behind. I actually kind of like it. Oh! Now, maybe Willow has the foresight. Willow just knew. Willow knew the aces was behind. Now, let's see what size of McCann goes. Now this is another example, okay? Look at McCann's stack size pre. It's just 13 bigs.
Right, yeah.
Like, how many bluffs do we ever have here when we make this 6k?
Yeah.
Like, she's made it 2.5x over a limp. Like, this is literally aces a lot.
Yeah.
Now, I know, but sometimes you still need to just go for this little raise, even though it looks like aces. She may feel that if she just opens shoves that Connolly's going to overfold, which we can see here she would. She would fold Queen Jack of Hearts. She may have made it a size that Willow's going to peel.
Call.
But, like, in Willow's seat, you know, like, my alarm bells are going off here that McCann's only made this 6k off a stack of 13 bigs. Now, Willow's going to get in trouble if it does come a queen or a jack, but luckily for her it doesn't. Typically this goes check, bet, fold. See if McCann elects to play, you know, a little tricky. I think she will bet. Typically here, you know, it's going to bet somewhere in the realms of, like... I mean, I would like to see a small bet because, you know, if your opponent, for example, did flop a set or something here, you're going broke no matter what. So when you bet small, you give your opponent the chance to, you know, lose their mind and raise you. We don't really need to protect here, right?
Like,
you know, like we don't really need to protect against. You know, she's not going to have hands like 8-9 suited and stuff too often here, Willow.
It should just be pairs, right? Big suited connectors or pairs.
It kind of depends, to be honest. It depends on who the villain is. Actually, I haven't seen Willow limp once, so
Yeah, we haven't
kind of
seen
intriguing. She basically lost the minimum there.
Yeah.
Because if she raises pre, McCann's all in, or McCann flats. So, yeah. Nice hand from McCann, good little chip up. Willow with the foresight or something. It was like she just knew that she was going to run into a big hand. Fortunately for her, that, you know, she did manage to avoid queens and jacks. Could have got her in some trouble. So guys, anyone who is just joining, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I am Andy Headley, aka Picasso, your commentator for the week at the Irish Poker Open. This is the Ladies Championship event, and joining me in the booth, my co-com for the evening is Beth Cape. Say hello, Beth.
Hi.
Do the yada yada. So yeah, guys, we are going to be covering this event to its conclusion. We're 9-handed here at the final table of the ladies event. We're going to be paying out 6 places First place just under 3,000 euros, if my memory serves correct. So yeah, guys, let's see what's going to happen. And as I've mentioned a few times, day 1A of the big one, the main event, is underway outside of the booth. Big field actually, lots of players, loads of bosses still remaining. Now, interesting spot here for Kilroy. She does open. I don't hate having this in our raise fold range. We are getting pretty shallow, but if the table's playing relatively passive, I'm not hating this.
I guess that's what I was tending to do. I was opening a lot on that ladies' table because I didn't expect to get 3-bet light very often.
And was that happening constantly?
No. I was getting flattered by like ace queen and stuff.
Yeah, and just not getting good flop.
Yeah,
textures.
exactly. Like just like one time a pro flattered me with ace queen. It came ace high, but I had like 4-5 of hearts. And like turned the up and down, like flopped it like a wheel draw, and then turned the up and down so barreled. And then river was a pair, and I was just like, geez, I'm just not getting anything to fold now, especially not an ace. I checked, she has ace queen, she didn't even value bet, and I was just like,
Interesting spot here. Now Kilroy did open the 9-10 of hearts. Louise had a couple of options in the big. If she thinks that Kilroy is opening too wide, she could have shoved pre. I like this check back from Kilroy. And she's going to like that turn a lot. Now typically here Butler is going to lead. Like a lot of the time she knows the race is going to be good. She has a gut shot to a straight. Typically she'll bet about 6k here, would be my sizing. Boom, she bets exactly 6k. Now now you know what? I kind of love this. Now this is obviously a semi bluff, right? What we call. Like Kilroy, she's drawn to a straight flush. She has a pair and an open-ended straight draw already, and what I kind of like, she blocks Jack 9. But I'm not sure how often she opens Jack 9 from under the gun +2. This is the kind of stuff you need to factor in.
I think it's interesting that she opened 9-10, so she's kind of like semi-uncapped here. Like if she's got 9-10, she can also have Jack 9.
Absolutely.
But then she can also have sets. She can have bigger aces. And she's also Butler has got the ace of hearts. So if Kilroy is likely to open early and then bluff with hearts, she's blocking
she's blocking it. Yeah.
So there's a huge part of her range that that now Kilroy can't have.
That can't be draws.
Yeah, exactly.
And it makes it important. It makes her kind of more weighted to value.
Yeah.
Now the interesting thing here, this is all about knowing your villain. So does Kilroy check back flop with ace king and ace queen? I'm not sure she does on this stack depth.
I think this is.
But let's try and put the pieces of the puzzle together. Personally, I think ace king and ace queen are betting the flop for value, for protection, looking to get it in. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Like 2 pairs on the flop.
Well, this is it. I mean, she's essentially repping here like maybe a hand like ace 10 that check back flop. Maybe 3 sevens could make some sense. She could have a flop set that decides to check back, but again, she may just bet flop. Like shallow stack. There is a relatively draw heavy board. If the big blind has queen jack, king jack, jack 9, 7 9, any ace, they're going to call with all of these combinations of hands. That's kind of a spot where you need to just know your villain. But if we think about that hand rationally, she doesn't have that many all-in bluffs. She has a bunch of semi-bluffs. She can have some, queen jack of hearts somehow that decided that it wasn't going to c-bet flop, although it probably does, you see, on an ace 10-8.
I think it's rare for it to actually have a bluff there, though.
Exactly.
I think it's rare for it actually to turn combo draw and then bluff it, because you say, right, queen jack of hearts.
I think it bets flop. Exactly. King queen of hearts probably bets flop.
That's the thing. Like even though there's not much that's there to be bluffing, there's also not much. There's probably more value that you can actually have.
I think so too. I don't think it's unrealistic to say that 9-10 of hearts actually might be the only combo draw.
I was thinking
there isn't
about that.
really that many more.
She might be afraid to like c-bet queen jack though.
Yeah. I mean, I think she does. I think she would c-bet on a double gutter, against the big blind defend.
Yeah.
So, she actually convincingly tells the story that she has a value hand in this spot.
I guess it just.
But then again, you see, this is what's so wonderful about poker. I feel like she c-bets ace king and ace queen. I really do think she c-bets those hands, even ace jack. So her value range that she's repping here is like aces that checks back a flop set. Although we block aces because we have ace jack in the big blind. Could have a set of 10s or a set of 8s, but they may just c-bet.
Well,
so we kind of rep a set of 7s and ace
If
10
she
and a flop
has,
set.
if she has 10
It's an
9
interesting
hearts,
spot.
I think she can have 10-8 suited as well, possibly.
Yeah? But does it check back flop, flop and bottom two?
Yeah,
like
true,
there's always
true,
all this is what's great about pokering right now, analysing these spots. Now, Monica's loving life here. Now this is interesting, like, so Monica opens under the gun 2, Rachel electing to flat the button. It's very close pre here to a 3-bet go for Rachel. Like Monica's open off 20 big blinds, 9s is a big hand. Might be a spot that you want to just 3-bet, get it in. Now Willow's going to get in some trouble here. She has to call at least 1 bet. Now typically here Monica should be betting the flop, looking to get it in. We have, you know, a stack to pot ratio of just over 2. Willow is not folding for 1 bet. I like the sizing from Monica. 40% pot or just under. You can get value from every ace and every 10. Get some floats. 8, 9, queen, jack, hands like this. Good turn for Monica. She may elect to check back. She has 2 options here. She may elect to, you know, bet for protection, bet for value, but you know, she could be afraid of jack 10, king, queen, ace, jack. She does check back, don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind it either. I guess like you keep bluffs alive if there are any floats that then want to turn into bluffs.
8, 9 or something
if
could
Conley
possible.
does that.
Also we pot control against other aces that we think we could possibly up against 2 pair. I'm not sure if she did check though. Nothing's really.
Yeah.
We are still waiting for the graphics to update. I mean, typically if Monica checks here, kind of depends what the river card is. I think she's still thinking. I like that she's taking her time being considerate in this spot. She does have just over pot. One reason to bet a little bit more on the flop is that then we have a pot size bet on the turn. So if Monica bets like 9k on the flop, now she's going to have like 36k in the pot and have about 30k. You can just jam it in.
I definitely need to improve that actually. Like I need to think further.
Just thinking ahead about the streets.
Yeah, just like setting up jams.
For sure. Yeah, obviously bet sizing is super important. Now it looks like she's bet the turn. Oh, Willow is shoved. Oh.
Snap shove as well.
Oh. Monica calls. Oh, Monica called and she snapped it off. Wow.
I wasn't. I guess
was not expecting Willow to snap. I think this is a strategic error here. Needs a 7 or Monica's going to have a massive stack. Wow.
Oh wow, Hennigan would have riveted a set.
She would have. There you go. So if she 3-bet gets it in clean, then Monica is out. This is the magic of tournament poker. You know, 1 3-bet there from Rachel, and Monica's out, and now Monica's like a chip leader in the tournament. Wow. Now, let's talk about that check call off. I mean, Willow, what bluffs, you know? What bluffs does Monica bet, flop, and jam turn? Very, very few. 8, 9 of spades. That's about it. 7, 8 of spades. Maybe 10x of spades.
10x of spades probably doesn't jam. It doesn't
I mean,
bet though again because
I think it checks flop as well.
Yeah, well,
a
it
lot.
checks flop and like on the turn you just have value, so you just check back, don't you?
Yeah, I think we have to fold ace 7 here. Sorry,
That's
Willow.
Interesting though, because
sorry, Willow.
She might think that Monica's aggressive. So
I know, but there's just so few combos of turn jams.
But then also, she might have thought, geez, why would you tank this long with a stronger ace or an ace?
I guess.
15
Yeah.
and 3,000.
I'm just trying to think out loud at double barrel bluff jams. Feasibly, Monica could turn queen jack and king jack into a bluff jam. Yeah, like I know she turns a jack, but she can be trying to get an ace to fold.
Yeah.
But she would
It's
specifically,
adventurous. It's reasonably adventurous as well.
she would specifically need to be targeting a weak ace rag to fold. Like, you know, if you have queen jack or king jack there, you do block the nuts, you block king queen. But, you know, also Monica may elect to check back when she hits a jack, thinking she beats a 10x and a 6x.
Yeah, totally.
In my opinion, there's just too many hands that have us absolutely dead to call that jam. We literally need to beat
3,000, please. 3,000.
8, 9 of spades, and is Monica even opening that hand from under the gun too with 20 bigs? These are all the things that poker players should be thinking of. You know, okay, I beat some semi-bluffs, but does she even open that hand of 20 bigs in early position? Maybe the first misstep for Willow.
I think the snap jam looks really strong though.
Raise all in.
What, from
Willow?
Fold.
The snap jam when Monica bet and.
Is that what I thought Monica? Is that what happened? We think that she bet jammed.
I think. I mean,
Wow.
chat. I guess.
Monica bet called it off. Dark Angel says, any news on Gabriel?
Ooh, I could have.
I went to see him and he was short. I hate to say it, I didn't even want to tell the chat. He was down to about 15 bigs when I saw him.
But we did tell him what to do
Hope-
when he was shorter.
It doesn't say much about our coaching skills, does it, that he was down to 15 bigs so quick? Hopefully, come on Gabriel, hopefully he's spun it up. I'll get you guys an update on the next break. But he wasn't looking thrilled, I'm not going to lie. I tried to give him a pep talk on the break.
When's been cash? Tomorrow? Oh, no.
Normally late on day 2.
Late on day 2.
/ early day 3.
That's a lot of poker to be playing without a cash, but you know, these 3-day events.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the structure of the Irish Open main is very good. So, as we can see, Monica now out in front, the chip leader, followed closely by Louise Butler, Rachel Hennigan bringing up 3rd place. Now, as we can see, the tournament's getting shallow, guys. 3rd place down, all less than 20 bigs. So, in theory now, the action should start to, you know, ramp up. We will see if the ladies can play the ranges correctly. Kind of turns into a slightly turbo structure.
So I've just read Monica's favourite weak starting hand, and it's Kings. That's your weak starting hand. Obviously, when I first read it, I was like, oh, favourite starting hand. But
oh, here we go. So